So apparently we're in game. Didn't even get to see the rest of the picks and bans, but it was a Shyvana, so apparently it was a mess up for the Naza, so it didn't actually mean for that to be there. So we have Shyvana, Evelynn, Twisted Fate, Kog'Maw, and Leona up against Gragas, Elise, Ziggs, Corki, and Thresh here. And level 1, we're going to be breaking up very early on. Just to talk about in general, level 1, who do you think is stronger?
Looking across the board, I definitely think that it's going to go to the side of EDG. Ziggs is really strong level 1, though.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, obviously, the both supports being a real key factor. And I mean, you have the Thresh hook, potentially. You have the Leona stun as well.
I'm going to give it to World Lead, actually. Elise is really strong level 1. Ziggs is incredibly powerful. Corki's okay. Death Sentence and Gragas is strong.
All right, well, as you can see, it looks like both teams just going to kind of hold the line of scrimmage. It's nice cast with another American who knows exactly what that means, because apparently in Europe, American football isn't a big thing here. But obviously with the Ziggs up against Twisted Fate middle, what's your thoughts on this lane early on?
Ziggs should dumpster this lane, if I can use that phrasing. Twisted Fate, you have to think that champions, they bring 4 abilities to a lane. And you have to think that Twisted Fate is literally only bringing 2 abilities that he can effectively use in lane. One of them, or one of his 3 abilities other than his ult, is going to be a an on-hit effect with his wild cards. Then he has wild card and pick a card. So like his ult, it's not like Twisted Fate's in the middle of a 1v1 with Ziggs and he ults and he suddenly wins that, whereas Ziggs gets, you know, all 4 abilities to kind of just rain terror upon TF.
Well, one thing I have noticed really quickly, just looking at the summoners alone, is the fact that both mid laners running Flash Ghost here.
I think Ninja's taking Ghost so he can speed up. So when he sees the Destiny go, he can get in range for his semi-global presence with that ultimate. And, you know, obviously you can get involved much faster with his gate, but Ninja can be sure to throw a bomb that way.
All right, well, it looks like we will have that lane swap that you were mentioning before. We have Name and ZZF head up towards that top side to go up against Calme on that Gragas. And, of course, we have Wei Zhao and Conan with that Corki and Thresh going down bottom to, well, not be up against anyone right now because Korra is in the jungle currently just helping out Clearlove here.
And this is really the strength of Shyvana in the top lane. She jungles more effectively than probably any other top laner right now. Gragas very strong in top lane, obviously. He can handle the 2v1. He has decent wave clear, good tankiness, sustain, but Koro definitely has the advantage on Shyvana that he's able to pick up that experience faster.
All right, so I'm seeing a lot of things reminiscent of a couple of patches ago with just the way that they're pushing right now. But the 4L that you were talking before, we see, you know, Calme in the top lane. He's actually going back to base here, just trying to stay, I guess, a little bit safe. We have, I guess, the wave building up on the top side as well. And you can see, of course, you know, Clearlove and Koro just sticking together in the jungle still.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to reset the wave onto the tower, and then Wei Xiao is going to go ahead and back and possibly do a 2v1 in the top lane. They've occasionally been doing this thing where they'll leave the AD carry alone in the top lane just to give them more experience. It's very common with Wei Xiao in particular, but...
Well, we do see Conan actually push up here. He went for a really aggressive ward, putting it down by the Wraith camp, and I believe even Wei Zhao was going with him here really quickly, just being stopped by Koros, being spotted out here, but he's going to get caught potentially. The hook going to come in, not going to connect though. We will have that flash come in for Koros. That summoner will be down, but now they have 4 men bottom. They have an ability to push that turret down. You can see obviously Clearlove on the top side sitting in the jungle. We'll have a 2-man push, and so far it looks like World Elite off to a strong start.
Definitely, it also puts the pressure on EDG to make response top lane. I don't know if they're going to leave Name up here and again give him that solo EXP, or if they feel that the threat from World Elite taking that tower, or even worse, taking the early dragon. Obviously, Elise very good at juggling that dragon aggro. They would need to trade a global objective in response to that, so could see them push down this tower quickly, but now Clearlove looking mid. Nope, just going to go ahead and hop away.
Yeah, Clearlove and ZZF, we're looking for potentially that gank in there as a leave-in still Name on that top lane, but you can see Dragon being started up here. They are spotted out by a ward, though. Edward Gaming do have a word to currently notice them right there going for it. And this could be a really good opportunity for EDG. Obviously, Evelynn, you know, can stealth in there. World Elite trying to bait this one out here, but it will be unsuccessful. And right now, Koro able to get a couple of levels. Level 3 currently in the bottom lane to Calme's level 2 here. And it looks like World Elite are going to commit towards this dragon.
A lot of time wasted just waiting to start this dragon, but looks like they're doing a decent job in the aggro. I don't foresee that EDG can challenge this. That said, again, puts pressure on Name in that top lane to really make use of putting damage on that tower so they can quickly trade gold.
Yeah, but you can just see that. I mean, you put it out perfectly. It took a long time to start the dragon. It seems like a little bit of pressure on their shoulders, I guess, because, I mean, they were waiting for a gank, obviously, but it never came. And I guess that really shows, I guess, their hand a little bit here early on. But either way, they pick up the first dragon of the game about 4 minutes and 40 seconds in. They have a little bit of a goal lead now. But Name, if you look at the top lane, I mean, he's still even in CS currently. Obviously, levels will be a little bit different, but...
And like you said, even in CS, but you pointed out the levels is kind of the really important thing. Like Corki, Kog'Maw actually has a really weak laning phase until he gets that level 6 and he's able to utilize his ultimate for poke. So I expect they either might trade this tower down, keep Name up there for as long as possible for the easy CS, or when he gets level 6, trade him back down into the 2v2. But looks like a bit of a roam squad coming in from EDG.
3 people just sticking together here. They're looking for anyone coming through. Obviously, clearly just trying to spot out someone here. Calme going to be all alone at that tower, and I wonder if they're going to go for this dive here and pick up that first blood potentially, but they're still just sticking around. I believe we're going to have Koro get caught out here in just a few seconds, or at least we'll notice Sin here. And Clearlove will be spot out by that pink orb, but here's Engage onto Sin. He's so low on health. He's going to go down from this one. We'll try to hop away. Actually, we'll get the shield. He might survive this one, and in fact, he will. The Ignite won't be enough, and I thought he was a goner, but he didn't even have to use Flash on that one.
Fantastic plays from Sin. I expected no less from Axion there. Found the repel onto the mini golems and then found a nice lantern from Conan.
Looks
now
like Conan is
getting in trouble.
He is getting caught out here, but he obviously has that turret. He has the support here from Calme, so he should be fine. Clearlove's already cleared out that pink ward. We're having a little bit, I guess, lag on our clean feed. Obviously, hope that does fix up here in just a few. But either way, the pressure is insane right now. I mean, I don't really see anything really too reminiscent of this lately.
They're very big on the roam support. So as you can see already, FCZF and Conan making their presence felt across the map. Conan doing a nice job of mirroring FCZF, actually.
Actually, last time I saw this was last night on TI4. Funny enough, with the roaming supports coming in. But we do see, obviously, Conan still in the top lane. There is a ward at that red bush here and a ward in that tri bush. A pink one again, I believe that was. So we will have a little bit of a safe laning phase up here. Name, no. 50 CS to the 51 of Wei Zhao. And Wei Zhao's still bottom lane all by himself. Currently tied in levels, and he's already pushed onto that turret, down about a third life already.
And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier, the fact that I was surprised that they hadn't left Wei Zhao alone in a lane yet. They do this all the time. He effectively kicks Conan out. Conan, not known for his mechanical aptitude, but very good at playing that roam support, so.
All right, well, either way, we do have Sin coming up towards the top side here, looking for a 3-man push. It looks like Edward Gaming not going to be too afraid of this one so far. Twisted Fate, now level 6, though. You could come into potentially these other lanes. But like you mentioned before, you know, map pressure, something that China's not too strong on.
Definitely, between these two teams, I would give better map pressure from World Elite, particularly because they have Salme. I feel, again, he understands how to use that teleport probably better than any other top lane. Coral, though, has really been showing kind of an evolved state from him. His Kayle was really impressive yesterday, so see if he can pull it from a Shyvana. Big comfort pick for him.
All right, now he's doing pretty good on CS, as you can see. A little bit of a lead, about 8 CS currently over Calme here. And let's take a look at items really quickly coming in. Is there anything that kind of stands out in your eyes, or we're just seeing kind of like a normal start here?
Looks pretty standard across the board. Looking across, yeah, no one's really had their first backs yet either. It's common to start boots against Ziggs, because obviously you want to dodge his bouncing bombs, but otherwise only the junglers have really spent.
That Conan does have is a Sightstone now. So he does have that, I guess, advantage over FZZF currently, but I'm curious to see how he can actually use it, obviously. Teleport for Calme taken and Koro as well here. And it looks like Calme will go back to base and buy up something very shortly. But now, Blue of Us being given over to the mid laners. Ziggs also coming in, but it's going to be a little bit too late. And Clearlove will take the damage, but Sin won't get the actual buff.
Ninja being pretty cheeky right there. He's had a lot of success with that in the past. Unfortunately, didn't pay off for him there. Conan now in the bot lane, though, with Wei Zhao, so they should be taking this tower relatively quickly.
Yeah, looks like they will be able to pick it up here, though we do have Koro. You can see on the minimap, he's just sitting back. He's just waiting, realizing that they could potentially be coming in for like a 3-man gank. But Dragon up in about 1:50 seconds. Obviously, World Elite, they got the first one here. Able to apply that really early pressure and pick that one up here. So they have a little bit of a gold lead, about 200-300 currently. But I guess the difference, you know, between the junglers, if you look at Clearlove, 41-20 of Sin, and not to mention top laners, 26-19, the CS difference is really starting to add up here.
And this is Clearlove's style. Recently, he's been trying to change it up and become more of kind of a gank-heavy jungler for his team. Especially kind of like on an Evelynn pick, you would think that she would gank a lot. But Clearlove, you have to think, when he trained to be a jungler, his mid laner was Messiah, the big Twisted Fate player. And Messiah was completely about applying map pressure. He wasn't the best in the 1v1 lane, but he was the best in controlling the map. So if you have a jungler who learns to jungle with a mid laner that just ganks everything, obviously he's going to stay in the jungle. And Clearlove, unfortunately, hasn't been able to really shake that.
All right, well, first turret will be taken down here about 9.5 minutes in. A minute to go on Dragon. We see finally some items being bought up here. Bilgewater Cutlass coming in for Name. We see the Negatrunk Cloak picked up for Koro. Over on the other side, we see, well, potentially that Catalyst coming in for Calme here very shortly. Not to mention, the Athene's almost done for Ninja. And Dragon, that's got to be the next big engagement. Like, EDG have to contest it, I'm assuming.
Definitely, and you see them switching Name and FCZF into that bot lane, so they will have even numbers as well as the teleports available from both top laners, so should be the next big point of contention. I feel like Name didn't go Trinity first on Kog'Maw, though, where you see a lot of Kog'Maw do that. He instead went and rushed his Bork. Against a Sheen, I don't think he wins out in that damage trade at all with the Corki, especially at these early levels, so that's a little bit concerning.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. And when Wei Xiao is 2/3 done with that Triforce, now Clearlove coming in for a kick on his Kao Mei. Ultimate gonna be his Kao Mei being forced to flash away. Will he have the body send to escape this one? He doesn't have it off cooldown just yet. And they're gonna pick up First Blood. Koro gonna actually survive, and one more hit's not gonna be enough. And that First Blood will be going over to Clearlove here. So a great time gank coming in, and that could potentially lead towards Dragon.
And pretty much Clearlove's first gank of the game, effectively. So coming up big right there. Very late First Blood, 10 minutes, wow.
I feel like we're watching a LCS NA game right now, to be honest. But either way, we'll delete. They have Dragon Timer. They're there already as it does come up. Obviously, Wei Xiao with the items he's been able to buy is able to just tear through that one. So we'll pick up the second Dragon about 10 minutes and 50 seconds in. And speaking of items, look at what we currently have in terms of trinkets on both sides. We see 4 sweeping lenses picked up by World Elite, and only 2 by Edward Gaming.
And this is what I was talking about kind of before Champions, like the fact that China is really good at vision denial, but not necessarily controlling the vision and making sure that they have it in areas. So obviously those very early sweepers being a testament to that. World Elite, though, you talk about how they have a new Korean coach, Hero, obviously 2 new Korean players, Axine, one of the bigger warding, what's what I'm looking for, positions. You think like support, jungle are going to be the best warding positions for the teams, or the most active in warding. So World Elite's warding is a little bit different from other LPL teams. EDG probably one of the only teams other than OMG that didn't get Koreans for their roster this split.
Including North America did too. Anyways, so we do see obviously I think it's Holy Guard coming out both mid laners. Not done just yet, but a lot of pink wards, actually, I've seen it put along the map. Obviously, with an Evelynn, you kind of expect that, but you even see a lot on the side of EDG. Clearlove currently sitting on one, you sitting on one as well here. And finally, we're starting to see a little bit of normality come to this game. AD carry supports now both bottom. You mentioned before, Name probably should be able to beat Wei Xiao 1v1 just because of that Sheen difference, and not to mention, I guess, the phase as well. But you can see, Name's still farming up very well. AD carries within 5 CS of each other.
Definitely. He has to be careful in this lane. It does help that they have Leona. I feel like Leona has a bit more damage that she's going to bring than Thresh, at least in a burst situation. Obviously, Thresh will be able to utilize his Flay proc. So sustained damage, it's going to go to Conan. Burst, hard initiate, it's going to go to FCZF. But Clearlove now getting caught out. Or excuse me, I should say Sin.
He's catching out Sin there, and he will actually force the flash of the Go-Kart going to come in, but he will repel out of it. Ziggs ultimate going to come in as well, and the Thresh Lantern will be enough. The flash hook not going to connect, though, and now EDG forced to run away from this one. You getting caught out, though, and he should be able to escape this one, but a nice little bit of aggressive play coming out of EDG. They're really starting to bring the fight toward Elite. I mean, the goal difference is obviously, as we can see, in favor of World Elite, but EDG aren't playing like it.
And this is kind of the game that EDG plays. They're completely fine. Yes, they lost 2 early Dragons, not the best position for them to be in, but they stall out games incredibly well. They utilize you. Obviously, he's on a champion that, doesn't have the same wave clear level as say, Ziggs, but still has that ability to just clear waves, be that anti-siege tool there, which is a position he knows very well for EDG. And
you mentioned the split pushing potential that we've seen out of these teams. Obviously, some teams excelling at it a little bit better. I wonder if we might potentially see that coming out of you. Obviously, back in the LCS, when I was doing it in spring and summer, we saw a lot of Twisted Fate and a lot of split pushing coming in. Even Intel Extreme Masters season 8, or is it season 7 now? Is it that long ago when we were in Katowice for the normal actual event? We saw that infamous backdoor by Expected.
That was so long ago. Wow. Yeah, but what a play. I would love to see split pushing coming out from you. It hasn't really been his MO, however. Again, his team relies on him so heavily to help balance out their team fights until Name can really get kind of his foot into the door. You'll constantly see fights will go kind of in favor of whoever EDG is facing. In this case, World Elite, until, you comes in and he drops like his Ziggs ultimate or something like that. He's really been kind of the spine for EDG's team.
Right now, the Blade of the Ruined King has been picked up by Name. We see a little bit of a 2-man push here on the top side, but that will turn into a 2v2 with Clearlove coming in as well here. And it looks like, we haven't seen one ultimate out of you so far, but we've seen obviously 2 Ziggs ultimates used by Ninja. One, obviously, with the gank we just saw towards the blue buff of their own, and one earlier on trying to steal away the blue buff from the other team. So really interesting to see the differences here between the mid laners.
Big issue is that he doesn't have a lot of kill potential in his lanes. You do have lockdown from FCZF, but we talked about how Name was weaker than Corki at this stage in the game since Corki had the Sheen, was able to get out that burst damage. In the top lane, Koro on Shyvana doesn't have the burst damage, so effectively he's looking for Clearlove to invade the jungle again like he's doing now, find someone out of place, and then gate into that. But the last time Clearlove found someone, he was able to just walk over.
well, clearing out a lot of pink wards. I bet it's a second, potentially third of the game here, but like you mentioned before, roaming supports coming in handy here. FZZF now level 6, as well as Conan, so we could see finally some 5-on-5 team fights breaking out here momentarily. But obviously both buffs have been given over to the right places here, and Koro finally getting a little bit aggressive on Cao Mei. Now we see you getting caught out here. The hook gonna come in, it will land, and that most certainly will be a kill. You gonna be taken down. They give that over to Ninja, and a fantastic first kill coming in for the side of World Elite.
Even better for the fact that the gold stayed in the mid lane, didn't go to Axion in the jungle, so Ninja definitely going to get a step up there. Also has a CS advantage.
Yes, he does, and I actually wonder how much gold advantage he has now because of this. And well, they're applying some pressure on the middle. We see Cliff going with the ultimate. Nice zone of stun comes in as well. They're locking down Sin, but he does get the repel. But where is he going to go? He has nowhere, and they're going to be able to pick up the kill. FCZF gets that one. It looks like Conan was just a little bit too late to the party with that that hook or that lantern coming in. But a great gank yet again coming out of EDG.
It was good synergy and communication from World Elite. You saw that they tried to buy Sin some time by placing the AoE from Ziggs where he would rappel down to allow Conan to get in position for the Lantern. Like you said, just slightly late, so EDG do manage to trade 1-for-1 there in the end.
All right, so great job of them. Obviously, the money didn't go to the mid laner, though. I guess that's the one big difference we can talk about with Krylov picking up that kill. Obviously can help speed up his item build a little bit, get a little bit tankier, a little bit quicker to kind of meet up with Name and his needs here when he could potentially be dove on. But interesting plays nonetheless here. Obviously just 2-1, 16.5 minutes in. We're not seeing that TDM style that you were mentioning before. Maybe we'll see it in another game or two.
I don't want to say unfortunate just because these teams are still really good, but they're different from other LPL teams. They're not as explosive in kind of their early game action, which it concerns me because they almost have very similar styles and what they want to do for their AD carries. I'm just curious who's going to do it better. Is Wei Xiao and World Elite, are they able to prop him up late game hard enough to face off against a Kog'Maw? Because that's kind of the risk that they're taking. They're putting a lot of pressure on this Corki to say that, yes, late game I can stand toe-to-toe with not just Name, but Name's Kog'Maw.
One thing I do like seeing out of World Elite, though, at least in terms of their lineup. So if you think about, Kog'Maw versus Corki, obviously Corki is going to be a little bit, well, not a little bit, but he's going to fall off a little bit towards the late game where Kog'Maw can just do so much 1v1 damage. But World Elite, they have a great poke comp, with Gragas, with Ziggs, and Corki right there. And not to mention, if you land a Cocoon into a hook or vice versa, you have that potential to burst someone down. So World Elite, I like their composition late game, but if Name gets strong enough and ADG is just quick enough to dodge away from the skill shots, it could be very bad for World Elite.
Definitely. I also like the fact that, like you were talking about the death sentence of the Cocoon, they have a lot of non-committal CC, so it's kind of like when this game stalls out, gets into the mid-game fights where everyone's just kind of looking at each other, they have a lot of chances to roll the dice and to look for an engagement they want, which, trying to find something on this dragon.
Clearly going to catch out Ninja in the middle. FCZF going in a little bit too deep. The hook lands on Name and the Cocoon, just like we're talking about, but he flashes away for this one. He gets the backup from his team, but Sin is just diving straight onto him. You can see Ninja zoning out you on the side. He picks up the kill for Sin, and Name is taken down. Now Koro, he's in a tough spot, gets flayed back as well. He will be dropped, and that is a 2-for-0 trade in favor of World Elite, but is it done just yet? Ninja and Clearlove going head-to-head here. And it looks like Clearlove just going to back away. He's going to get this one up here, and most certainly still should be a dragon here for World Elite if they do not pick up this kill on FCZF, and he's not going to escape this one.
And this is exactly what we were just talking about, the fact that there's a lot of non-committal CC, whereas FCZF as Leona, if you go, you're in. Unfortunately, he went in way too early there, lost about pretty much all of his health, and immediately had to back off before Koro went in. And it was just a case of EDG kind of high-fiving each other as they one after the other ran into World Elite, which now gives them another free dragon. That's 3 uncontested dragons.
Yeah, it what's really cool about that fight as well, I'm pretty sure you caught on to it too, is the fact that Ninja was zoning out you, but Ninja was like deep. Like he wasn't in it with his own team. Like he wasn't just, zoning out one guy. He was behind the enemy lines zoning out you. And I believe Clearlove was trying to help out you, trying to get him back in the fight, but by keeping that CC, I guess the second form, and their only second form is CC, it was too hard for them to really pull anything out. I mean, we saw Name get hooked in and cocooned. There's just nothing they could do.
Exactly, and unfortunately, you couldn't step forward to protect Name. He was kind of in the middle of Ziggs and Elise.
Yeah, really interesting setup right there. And well, we can see items now being built up here, and it's starting to get really out of hand. You can see Blade of the Rune King and the Brutalizer done, yes, for Name. Look over on the other side. Wei Xiao, Triforce now done. BF Sword picked up. Ninja even has an East Large Rod and his Blasting Wand, so that Death Cap will be done very soon. And Cao Mei now becoming this tanky monster here with that Rod of Ages.
Cao Mei is already incredibly powerful right now, and like you said, with that Roa, it's just a time-dependent item, so he's about to get even stronger. Koro having a little bit of a hard time with him now into this top lane. Obviously, items down. When he gets that Blade of the Rune King, strength will kind of swing back into his favor as he'll be able to cut through that health, but World Elite completely in the driver's seat right now. Have the item advantage. Their champions have a fantastic mid-game power spike, especially in Wei Xiao's Corki, which, look, Wei Xiao has a power spike. He's immediately now with his team.
What a coincidence.
Color me surprised.
Well, one thing I do like to see, oh, Clearlove might get caught out here. The Flay going to come in. Will the hook land as well? And they're just going to back away from this one. Ultimate being used by Clearlove, trying to chase them down here. So the top laner's coming in. And Ninja getting bursted down. You picks up the kill. Now Sin going too deep. He has to repel back to his teammates here and get the lantern away. But so far, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Is currently FCZF down. Sin, no HP. Nami gets pulled in, but the ultimate land doesn't matter. He gets the kill. And now he gets taken down to 2-for-2 so far. And it looks like you being chased down. The ultimate, actually, the passive coming in from Kog'Maw, and you will be dropped down as well here. So it's a 3-for-2 in favor of World Elite. And before that fight broke out, I wanted to say, I want to know how World Elite are going to take this advantage they built up and run with it, and I guess we're seeing it now.
I want to talk about something that I thought was really intelligent in that play. Axine looked like he was making a huge mistake. Obviously, you see the gate go down, but hold on a second, because Xiaomei looks like he might want some more. I think he's just going to, yeah, they're just going to back off. It looked like Axine, as soon as the gate procced, he immediately ran away from his team, which normally if you have such low health, you're like, no, stay close to me so Twisted Fate can't ult on you. But you saw that Conan actually was kind of near him. And what he was trying to do is he was trying to bait out the gate for you. He was trying to juke him to force his gate one way and then to get a lantern out. So unfortunately, he got picked up by the Nami ultimate, but really smart play from Axine.
And a good team fight nonetheless for both teams. I mean, EDG, that was... Clearlove has some massive balls, I'll say that. But just to go in, I mean, I guess he has the support from his team, so he can feel a little bit more confident about it. But if I was in his position, I would have been like, nah, let's not go in, guys. I don't trust you. But it was fantastic. Great engage. He's 1-0-3 now. Has a good score so far here. Still 40 CS ahead of, well, 50 CS ahead of his opponent. And he's really keeping up that trend that you were mentioning before. He's trying to transition to more of like a farming jungler than just that support gank heavy.
Definitely. The difference between these two junglers, Axine is definitely more about the early gank pressure. Clearlove, again, trying to transition to that style, but is much more, like you said, a farm-heavy jungler. Clearlove excels in team fights, though. One of the things about EDG is that their team fight synergy is pretty much unmatched, which is why they do so well kind of installing out those games and waiting for these big 5v5s, because other teams just can't really contest with them. That said, World Elite doing a fantastic job, obviously in the lead this game, and I'm really going to give it to Xiaomei and Wei Xiao again. Not that Ninja hasn't been doing well, but definitely the playmakers here, but gate going down.
You look for the flash go card. He lands on a Conan, followed up by a Leona ultimate, and it looks like they will be able to pick up a kill here, but we see Wei Xiao doing so much damage. He's not able to pick up a kill just yet, but he gets them so low because Ninja's come in. He gets a kill as well. Now they're looking for Nami, a nice E coming out of Ziggs there, pulls him back in. And that will be, wow, a 1-for-2 so far, and it might not be done just yet. Clearlove trying to win it from Sin here. It looks like he should be able to counter if he just switches out to a Cocoon, and it won't land. I'll actually flash away from that one. So a great fight coming out of World Elite. They kind of baited that one, and yes, they lost a turret, but they come out with the kills.
And that was really good positioning by Ninja. I know I kind of was giving him the benefit of the doubt last time when I spoke about him, but to have the... what's the knowledge that he was going to use the gate right there and to be sure that he could walk across the map and get involved and follow up that teleport was fantastic.
Yeah, perfect position. He used the ghost, just like you mentioned, just to get there as quick as possible and to kind of keep up with the fight. But well, both top laners still sitting up here. Koro, now 139 CS to the 134 out of Calmei. New large rod picked up for him now. And you can see, well, Koro, he has to be sitting on a lot of money. I don't know what he has just yet, but it has to be a substantial amount because he hasn't bought in a long time. And I wonder if that Blade of the Rune King is the thing that we're going to see come in.
I would like to see him go Bork now, but I feel like he almost has to go into the Spirit Visage to compete with the needlessly large rod and to help with his sustain. I feel like it would just do more as far as kind of the stats and synergizing with his kit and what he has built yet.
All right, well, it looks like our clean feed did just randomly drop out of nowhere. I'm trying to see if there's a word from our guys. But, okay, so well, either way, we can talk about the game nonetheless, because obviously we've had a lot of action. What, 14 kills? That is an interesting sign. 14 kills coming in. World Elite, playing like a top-notch team, playing like the team that you kind of expected to come into this one.
They've switched their style. In the spring split playoffs is kind of when they added their new coach, and they came out right out of the gate with an OGN composition. It was the first Nami that LPL has seen. It wasn't played to a lot of success, but, you know, they brought out the Lucian Nami composition, which very well known coming from OGN. Since then, their style and team has really transitioned into more of kind of a very objective-focused, farm-focused style, which it makes sense. You're seeing that a lot now. Obviously, they have complete dragon control. See if they can transition that into Baron control. But this is expected of World Elite. They're expected to win the early game. It's the late game that they have issues with. And that's unfortunate because EDG's late game is where they thrive. So they're almost kind of like inverse of each other. We talk about how World Elite likes to stall out games, but they stall out games and they kind of look confused. They take down all these towers because they're really good at, we rotate to this objective, grab the dragon, pick up Baron. But without Baron, they're one of those teams that really just stall out. Like if it's late game, all the towers are down, they need to push down mid. Even if they have like a 20k gold advantage, if they don't have Baron, they have no idea what to do. And this is what EDG thrives on. You do not want to take Edward Gaming to a 55-minute game where it's one team fight and a loss.
And a 6-item Kog'Maw on top of that. That would be ridiculous.
Exactly.
One thing I want to go back to, though, while we're waiting for, I guess, the feed to come back, is the very early game. The whole fact of we had the 2v1s happen. Obviously, EDG set up their AD carry support top lane. And we had the same, well, the opposite coming out of World Elite. But do you think because they saw the Kog'Maw, they knew, all right, so they're going to go top probably, and we could probably pick up an early dragon from this? Because that's what they went for. You could see they were, what, level 3, all of them? And they already had their mindset, like, dragon is a thing we want to do.
I don't necessarily think it was a, I mean, obviously it was the correct read, but it's very standard from LPL. I think the earliest dragon was actually done by Starhome Royal Club in LPL, and it was taken at like 3 minutes and 10 seconds, so even earlier than this one. And it's kind of just the current standard meta for them.
All right, well, it looks like we do actually have the feeds coming back really shortly here, just loading it back up on the other screen. And we can just drop you right back in the game because it has kicked off here. And we can see it's 5-10 currently. World Elite picking up another kill, it seems. And you, well, just getting over that ultimate he just used as it just ticked away here. But we can take a look at items yet again since we have a little bit of time, it seems. We can see the Blade of the Rune King now done for Koro. We have the Banshee's Veil picked up for Clear Love. And the Zonya's Hourglass as well picked up here for you.
We also have the Ghost Blade available on Name, and I want to talk about, again, not going for that Trinity Force, which we see so popular on Kog'Maw because you get so much from it, but I don't know if their game is... Oh, okay, the game is stalled out. Okay. I was like, I don't know if they've stalled out. We're really just looking at that stare down between Wei Xiao and FCZF.
That was really intense right there, too. I think they actually just had a pause really quickly. That was really intense, though, because you could saw what Leona was sitting in the bush, and there was, what, 2-3 people on World Elite just sitting by, waiting for the moment to shine here. And that could have been very dangerous. But I guess we missed out on 1 kill while we had that little bit of a break here. And hopefully the admins give us a word, because we're hearing everyone disconnecting. I'm not actually sure what's going on with that one.
We'll see how it turns out. It looked like World Elite was posturing for Baron, and so I'm really curious which World Elite team will show up for this Baron fight. Will it be the Chinese team that immediately does Baron and throws on it? Or will it be the Korean team that baits the Baron, gets a pick, and then transitions it into a bigger power swing?
Well, that's one thing I guess we can touch on. The fact that you've mentioned, in China, Baron is a big thing. Now, when it comes to Baron baits and to Baron dances, what do you see in that?
9 times out of 10, I feel like if you think about kind of the most developed region as far as strategy, Korea, obviously, Baron is more used as a tool to force a team to fight. Mm-hmm. Occasionally, you'll see that in LPL, but it's much more that they just need that Baron strength to feel powerful for whatever reason. So I feel like in Korea, where you would see, again, I talk about how it's a Baron bait. We're going to control the vision on an area. We're going to force you to come check. Otherwise, we get this for free. We're going to make a pick and then either swing that into the free Baron, or if we take an ace here, we're going to swing it into, your inhibitor. China will just do the Baron, and they'll either lose it to... They work a lot of AoE, not necessarily because they like to stack the wombo combo team comps. Like, Ziggs is obviously a huge crutch in China just because he's able to stall out and to get them to kind of that late game phase, which they obviously use that crutch because they don't play the map pressure game very well. But the other big issue, or the other big strength for Ziggs for China is the fact that he has a lot of AoE, and how they use AoE, you have to think that this region is most popular for their AD carries. The teams are so good at stacking the perfect placement of abilities to create the widest pressure point for their AD carries to just do whatever they want, or to completely zone out the other AD carry, which makes Ziggs incredibly valuable to them. And so in a Baron fight, when you have so much AoE, that gets really dangerous really quick.
Well, and so far we've seen, just as you mentioned, the AD carries, some great positioning coming out of... I wouldn't say Wei Xiao is doing a little bit better than Name. Obviously, he has the Valkyrie to get away and reposition if he needs. But, I think back to that one fight we saw Dragon, where Name, he kind of got hooked in, cocooned, and just got completely destroyed in it. He didn't have a way to go. I mean, they had the pincer move going on that Dragon onto World Elite, but they just couldn't go through with it. I mean, we saw, obviously, Leona going a little bit too deep there. FZZF got taken on very quickly, but... I don't know. I feel like you're right. I feel like what you're saying about Wei Xiao is definitely true. He's the master of positioning.
He's definitely seen a comeback too. Wei Xiao looks in incredible form recently, especially this split. I think the biggest issue for EDG is that World Elite, I always talk about how China has a really weak pick and ban phase, but I feel like World Elite played this one really well. The fact that they took Ziggs away from, like they obviously knew that Kog'Maw was going to be a contested pick. I think that they knew that going out of the gate. They let EDG pick it so they could then first pick Ziggs on their second rotation. Take that away from you. And the big thing is that you is the protection for Name. Again, we talk about how he's on Ziggs, he's on Orianna, he uses the AoE abilities to create a zone around Name. It's like, you know, come near my AD carry and I'm gonna burst you. Obviously, kind of the safest spot for him is to stand next to his mid, but on Twisted Fate, A, he looks incredibly uncomfortable, and B, with that last zone out, you wasn't able to get anywhere near Name to use any sort of his CC, any of his pressure, any of his power.
And if we think about his ultimates, out of the 2 I want to believe he's used, maybe it's 3. In 2 out of 3 of those, it's resulted in them losing multiple people. Like if you think about, there was one used bottom where they went in and they got, was it like 2-0'd from that one because we saw Woodley able to turn around. Then we saw one in the fight breakout in middle where he used to try to track down, I believe that was Sin, but eventually he went the wrong way and he got killed either way. And I don't know, I think you're right. I think he's a little bit uncomfortable on Twisted Fate, and that's something that you can't have happen. You know, if you're a professional team here, especially, you know, playing LPO, playing Intel Extreme Masters, you have to be comfortable in every champion.
Exactly, and this is one of the biggest issues as far as the world stage is concerned, is that the champion pool of the players. But we are back into the game, into this Baron dance, see what'll happen here.
Yeah, I think what was going on was we have like a little bit of a delay in terms of behind the players, so that's where we saw them playing while we weren't actually into game here. But like you're saying, Baron dance coming in, we do see Koro pushing down bottom, and he has that teleport. Calme has his up as well, and I actually can't see where the fat man is right now. I don't actually know where he is.
He's going to B, and he's going to walk back, although Klilev getting chased out of the pit. So that way he doesn't burn his teleport to face off, because obviously he doesn't want to burn the teleport and then have the dragon use his teleport. But Klilev still getting chased down.
Yes, he is. He will get cocooned up as well. Flayed back on top of that. Calme coming and looking for the ultimate, but he will be slowed down. A great job by Nam right there to protect his jungler. Klilev will survive, and Koro in the meantime is still pushing that bottom lane. He's going to get a tier 2 turret, but now what are they going to do? Are they going to go for Baron here, or are they going to go back and defend?
Big mistake, though, was that Koro actually did burn his teleport and canceled it. And I believe that World Elite, because they have so much vision control of the area, know that, which is why they're starting this Baron. They know it's a 4v5.
All right, Baron kicking off here. Ultimate used by you just to spot him out. Goes in, catches out Ninja. Ultimate coming in from the one as well. They're trapping him down. They're locking him, but he gets the lantern. He gets away. And in the meantime, Koro trying to run over from that bottom lane. He doesn't get the turret, but they do slow down Baron. They do stop it, though. And they get Ninja solo on life that they're going to have to back away, and they do prevent the Baron. So a great play by EDG, and we're starting to see the team you mentioned coming out, the late game team out of them.
Definitely. Saving grace was that ultimate from you right there to make sure that they found the pick. That could have spelled disaster for EDG, but now World Elite backing up, trying to take care of the pressure points on their waves, which allow EDG to kind of move in, clear out, what is that, 20 pink wards? I think it's only 2, but that's a hefty amount of gold.
Yeah, it is. And also, not to mention, I mean, you mentioned vision denial. It helps them take that away from them, and he's a little bit of an advantage here. And, well, we can see Calme finishing up the Rabadon's Death Cap, Sin finishing off his Warmogs, and we see the Void Staff now done for Ninja. And if you look at Ninja, I mean, he's what, 50 CS ahead, he's got an extra kill, an extra assist, 2 less deaths. He is a machine right now. With blue buff now added on top of that, ridiculous. I mean, you can't push against that because he wave clears too quick with Gragas, and he has potential poke power to just push you out of your own lane.
And you're exactly right. And what that means for EDG is anytime they want to push, even if they take an advantageous team fight with a numbers advantage, say Ninja's the last person standing, if he has mana, they can't siege a tower. They have to make sure that he dies every single time they want to go for an objective.
And not to mention, if we think about, you know, what has EDG built up in terms of armor to potentially tank a dive, well, they just now got Warden's Mails because we had Klilev rush that Banshee's Veil. So we'll see how EDG works around this. Obviously, late game, you know, when you're 5-6 items deep, you can definitely afford to dive here. But now Baron, it looks like Dance is coming yet again. And we're seeing World Elite use Calme into that bottom lane because he has teleport and Koro doesn't.
Exactly. And this goes back to the fact that Xiaomei really has a great understanding of map pressure. They know the teleport's down, you hit the nail on the head, but Klilev actually finds Ninja.
He's looking for him here, the Lantern. Gonna be able to get him away here, and actually going on to Klilev. Ultimate, actually the box coming out, teleports as well, and they're catching him out. Klilev gonna be taken down here. Wei Xiao picks up that easy kill, and looking for potentially number 2 here. Ninja trying to chase someone down with the help of Sin, and looks like that will be Name able to escape this one, but FCZF, he won't be so lucky. He will be dropped. Wei Xiao picking up a double, and that most certainly has to be Baron coming in for World Elite.
It was a fantastic collapse. They protected their flanks. World Elite just immediately clear love went in. Team collapsed around him. There was nothing EDG could do to follow that up. And this should be a completely uncontested Baron. They don't have a smite to find it, but they do have, you know, Name, Poke, wild cards.
Ult
the gate
steal.
is available, so they can get vision in there.
I want to see a Kog'Maw ult. Oh, he's backing away. I was
Ninja
hoping the
using
cards
that
as well.
AoE presence. Look at that damage.
Ridiculous. And it's even forcing the flash and the ghost out of you. The Ziggs also coming in. He gets him! Just on the tip, he gets the kill, and that was free. That should not have happened in any way or form.
And with that, that's a free Baron. That's Wardley in the driver's seat and pushing down this mid lane.
Oh, I don't understand.
Steal on the blue buff, too.
This is not good. I mean, we talk about, we mentioned EDG being a late game kind of team, but when you're this far behind, almost 10k, 31 minutes in, you have a Ziggs who's ridiculously fed. Name get taken down here by Weijia. Oh no, he gets the heal, he gets the speed up, and they try to turn on this one, but looks like FCZF will miss out on that Zenith Blade. But either way, look at Weijia's items. Infinity Edge, Trinity Force.
He's gonna burn through those towers, and with you dead, there's no form of anti-siege for them.
Well, you even see them go for a little bit of split 2-3 here, sending it looks like Gragas and Elise up towards the top side. They pick up a top turret, they pick up the middle inhibitor turret, and it looks like they're smartly just going to back away or maybe even regroup. They have to be sitting on a lot of money, though, right now.
I don't know if they're going to push forward this inhib. Looks like everyone's going to back off, like you said, go and spend their bank, come out with some crazy new items, take advantage fully of their lead, but didn't grab the inhib. So, I mean, obviously fantastic you got the inhib tower, but that's the next big important thing. See if you will actually go on this gate. He'd be crazy.
He's got the Zonias.
This is true.
He's not that crazy, though.
I don't think he's going to pull a high.
All right, so he will back off either way. Dragon, I believe, 4th or maybe even 5th of the game now, going over to World Elite, and they will have secured that 10k gold advantage here. And, you know, right now I'm seeing it as almost impossible for EDG to come back in this, but you see him applying a little pressure middle, trying to get some free global gold here, or some gold, sorry, for their team. And, I mean, right now, one thing they do have, I guess, is Name. He is 277 CS. He does have the Blade of the Rune King. He has the Youmu's and even a Spectral's Cowl built up.
I feel like Name went inefficient with his build, though. He has the Ghost Blade, like you said, which is a fantastic mid-game item. It has more battle stats mid-game and obviously more cost-effective than going like a Phantom Dancer route. Obviously, the movement speed passive on it is going to help Kog'Maw reposition himself, but that's really what the Trinity is for. The Phage is there to help you reposition yourself, give yourself some tankiness. He gets the attack speed from it, so more cost-effective item isn't necessarily helping him out. 2-4-1 right now. Doing a good job on the CS, but there's nothing that EDG can really do to stop this force up mid from Wardley. You have the siege from Gragas. Obviously, Salme went full AP Gragas, so those barrels are going to clear waves very effectively. You have Ninja on Ziggs, has the blue buff available to him, as well as the Baron regen. EDG can't fight here. If they lose, it's game over. They should just give this up.
All right, we can see what it looks like. They will finally push in for the first inhibitor here and take it down shortly, and they will, in fact, get it. Weijia picks someone up, and it looks like they're just going to maybe back off. They see Koro pushing bottom, Clearlove getting caught out potentially here. Look at the damage that Weijia's able to do. That was, I believe, just 2 auto attacks, took him down about half HP.
Weijia, huge comfort pick on that Corki. 8-0-3 right now. You talked about the Trinity Force is building up his Bork, has the Banshee Veil with the Valkyrie, so pretty much completely immune. But in the top lane, Koro trying to make some sort of pressure happen on the map.
Yeah, he's got one turret here, but he's going to lose out another inhibitor turret. I mean, what are you really benefiting off of this? And we could see potential engage come in. That inhibitor turret will be taken down. Baron buff, still giving the regen. Clearlove looking to go in there. But he will just back off, and World Elite are now taking their time. Looks like Koro has gone back to base, so they realize it's going to be a 5-on-5 potential here. They have the advantage. They have the middle lane shoving with super minions, and they have EDG on the run. You can see EDG are just too scared to even initiate.
And World Elite's so patient, controlled, and practiced, and kind of taking these objectives, sieging it up, you know, not going over aggressive, not committing to one fight. You know, we're here for the inhibitor. We're going to take it. We're going to leave. We're going to play the advantage. So again, talking about their strength as kind of being a map pressure team in the LPL.
All right, now, I mean, their items are getting even further ahead. We can see the Banshee's Veil picked up for Weijia, a Bilgewater Cutlass as well. You see another Chain Vest coming in for a Sin here, so potentially dive a little bit more. And, you know, if we talk about just, I remember one thing, I think it was St. Vicious said a long time ago, was the fact that on the map, there's only so much gold you can potentially pick up here, and you have to divide it according to what you need. And it looks like Koro, I mean, he's still pushing out lanes, yes, but he's not really there for the fights right now, and I feel like, you know, maybe give a little more farm to Name, a little bit more farm to you to poke a little bit more, wave kill a little bit faster might be a stronger move or a smarter move.
Talking about gold spread, you are right. Koro really isn't a factor into these fights, but more importantly, the gold spread on World Elite, the fact that they have it exactly where they need it. And hold on a second, because Conan getting caught out.
Well, it looks like Wei Zhao going to chase after this. FCZF does actually get a little bit of a slow with his ultimate off. Wei Zhao still trying to chase this, though. Sin as well from the side, but they force them back, though. And we even hear the Youmu's pop just in case Sonami can't escape that one. Either way, what do they? I mean, they have him on the run, as you can see. They didn't lose any health, and they're able to take down what you down to below half, FCZF below half as well. And now they're picking up even another turret, 8-4.
This is World Elite's game to lose. I don't see them losing it anytime soon. I feel like EDG is just stalling out, thinking about what they want to bring into the next set. Obviously, big pick. I'm still going to go back to Ziggs. The fact that they took Ziggs away from you, put him on a champion that not really well known for, I think really hurt them this game. But EDG looking for the last stand, perhaps.
They have to. I mean, this is the last inhibitor going for, and Koro diving straight in. He has 1v4 now, being forced to flash away, but I imagine he's going to be going down. But you gets caught with the hook coming in. Fantastic job by Conan right there. And the third inhibitor does fall. They pick up 2 kills. Ziggs ultimately going to come in as well, just to force them back. And there's a surrender vote coming out. That is World Elite picking up the first win here in the grand finals of our first stop here at Intel Extreme Masters Season 9 in Shenzhen.
Practice, controlled, objective focused, had 100% of the dragons and the barons on the map. Great control over the towers, knowing where they needed to be. World Elite was completely on point that game.
All right, well, we will obviously have game 2 coming up very shortly, but, you know, just looking back at the game, going to picks and bans, obviously, in the next game, what do we need to see differently? I mean, EDG, they had, well, both teams had a really good composition, but World Elite just kind of grabbed the game early on and never let go.
I feel like World Elite got all of the comfort picks that they wanted, whereas they denied EDG the comfort of the Ziggs pick. And I mean, they picked the Twisted Fate, but that's not something U is known for. And I feel like that really is kind of the #1 problem. With EDG, everyone talks about Name. Obviously, he has the big name, the big AD carry to go behind him. But I feel like, again, U is really the backbone of that team, and being on those AoE-style mages. Not that Twisted Fate doesn't bring a little bit of that, but that it's not his primary focus. Talk about the map pressure game, and that's not something that EDG plays. So right. I would love to see you find a comfort pick and to play to his strengths, and I feel like EDG will go a lot smoother.
I wonder if EDG will give up Kog'Maw for Ziggs or something like that. I mean, I don't think World Elite will even let Ziggs get through potentially in the banning phase, but Ziggs caused so many problems, just the champion alone. I mean, you saw how farm they were at the end of the game. You saw how much damage he was doing with his ultimates. He was, you know, roaming around the map perfectly to, you know, keep up with the Twisted Fate, obviously. Any thoughts?
I think you're correct. If World Elite really just want to 2-0 this, they would immediately ban Ziggs, try to force you again onto a uncomfortable pick. I don't think the Kog'Maw, just because Wei Zhao, he has the Kog'Maw available to him. He has the pocket Corki pick, has Twitch. If all else fails, has Lucian. He's too hard to ban out, too much of a threat across the board. So again, all eyes are kind of on mid this game.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. Obviously, coming up in just a few. We're going to go a quick little break here, but when we come back, Game 2 will be kicking off between Edward Gaming and World Elite. We'll find out, can World Elite take it to 2-0, or can Edward Gaming come back and take it to a Game 3? We'll see you in a few. One thing that, I mean, EDG, they tried once, but this is one thing I'm actually curious, and I want to ask you about the team. They tried once to contest it, and it went downhill. They lost 2 people. Are they the type of team where if they make a mistake like that, then they could potentially, you know, not take chances again? Or do you think they're a team that, you know, oh, it was a mistake, we can still try it again?
I think they're definitely going to be more cautious this time around, just because if they lose, it's completely over for them. That said, again, talking about how they've completely switched up gears, going for putting their hard engage on you there. They have the Gragas in the top lane. I feel they should be contesting and fighting a lot more, just because they're bringing a lot of hard engage and disengage tools. We talked about how China isn't necessarily really known for their disengage ability, but their comfort on Syndra cannot be understated. This is a champion that China plays a lot. It was the OG of the pick, so expect to see some fantastic Syndra play. Obviously, she has a huge long-range stun that can be used for both hard engage and disengage. It's very hard to walk up on a Syndra due to this.
Wow, we just saw something really cool out of Conan as well right there. He actually went for a very early sweeping lens. And by very early, I mean no one has one except him. And because of that, he was able to actually take away an early ward. I mean, obviously it was, actually, no, it wasn't replaced just yet, but definitely trying to get some control of the game early on in terms of vision.
I'm really surprised that EDG is going for the 2v2 against a wife steal lane.
Is that what it's been coined?
That's really shocking to me, because if Name gets locked up, yeah, Braum has really nice tankiness, but again, Braum's strong point is kind of level 1 and then level 6.
And not to mention, I mean, you have a range support versus melee support, which can always be very, very troublesome here. But either way, we do see Klilev going to be starting at his own red buff here. We have Sin starting at his own blue buff. And I'm actually curious, have you seen much Nocturne in LPL?
Not a lot. Obviously, the Nocturne synergy is coming from, again, Ninja running that Ziggs. Doesn't have this Ghost this time because he's not trying to keep up with the Twisted Fate, but you have to thank the semi-global presence between him and Axine and their communication there. They're the 2 Korean members on the team, so obviously a little bit more synergy than their surrounding partners. They don't speak Mandarin. I believe that they've been learning Mandarin, but when they communicate to their teammates, it's primarily through English. At least that's how it is for Starhorn Royal Club.
That's really interesting, actually, to hear.
Yeah, the only Korean player right now that speaks Mandarin fluently is Youngsu on Invictus Gaming.
Interesting. All right, so we'll see how that one goes. I mean, considering how will they still play together when they can't really, you know, I guess say exactly 100% what they want since they have to speak another language, it's definitely showing how damn good they are as a team together. And right now you can see it. Early harass coming out of Ninja onto a U, gets down to about half HP. And Klilev even made his way to potentially swing in towards that middle lane for a gank, but he's going to be going for his own blue buff here. And as we can see on the minimap, there's actually a ward there, so he will be spotted going for it.
And this is exactly how you're supposed to ward against Evelynn. I was very curious why they decided to go for a bunch of pink wards, because that's not typically how you do it. What you do is you ward her jungle camps, because obviously she has to come out of stealth to do them. So typically you'll put a ward at Wraith camp and a ward that can see white and blue buff, and you can just kind of tell what side of the map Evelynn's on. So nice to see Ward Lead adapt to that.
Yeah, very true. And you know, right now it looks like all lanes just going back to some normal farming here. We do have a very early back coming out of U though. Goes back to base, picks up a Fairy Charm, and I believe a ward on top of that. And in terms of top lane, we talked about middle, we talked about bottom. You know, it's fat man versus fat man. Is it like what Demon says, 2 greased up fat lads from Grimsby? Is it just going to be a constant hammering away, but no one really winning?
That's exactly what it'll be. And unfortunately, Gragas, he's a level-dependent champion. He needs those points in his abilities before he can kind of come out and be a powerhouse. And by the time he gets them, Mundo is just going to have that natural scaling of his health and his regen. You see Klilev looking bottom, though.
He's looking for a gank here. He does have red buff up still. And they might be able to sneak their way in. And we can see FCZF level 2 here. We will have the gank finally come in. Klilev taking his time, though. Being very, very patient. Looks like he's actually just going to back away. So we try to commit to a gank, but World Elite just a little bit too smart for that one, noticing that, obviously with that ward at the blue buff, they know he's potentially down towards bottom here. But either way, you see Cal May down half HP here, and Koro doing pretty damn well on that Grog. It seems a little bit more comfortable.
He's definitely going to have the early advantage. Stronger auto attack, has the early sustain for his lane. Obviously, Mundo needs time to ramp that up. His ultimate, a big part of that.
All right, well, you can see a little bit of a CS lead for Koro, 23 to 15. Between the AD carries, a little bit of a CS lead for Name, which is always a good sign for an EDG fan here. And not to mention mid lane, it's still in favor of you, though. Pretty, I don't want to say calm game so far, but it's just about on pace what we saw last time, I believe.
I feel like a lot of this has to do with the fact that Klilev is on Evelynn, and he's been very cautious about the ganks that he's picking. Obviously, as soon as he shows up on the map, it's going to be explosive on the opposite end, because obviously they know that there's no threat of a counter gank going down. So Klilev has to be very choosy here, because if he shows top lane and this gank doesn't go his way, his bot lane, again, Lucian and Thresh, not a combination that you really want to face as a Cogman. I feel like the only reason Wei Xiao and Conan are being so reserved about this is the fact that Eve is still missing. Yeah,
very true. And I mean, not to mention, if she does gank top, that's a dragon that could potentially obviously be stolen. But we can see Sim, 23 CS, 24 now. He's been farming up in the jungle for quite a while. Hasn't really visited these other lanes here, and even picking up very early razors. So I'm actually curious to see if he's going to farm to level 6 or even go for a gank, which right now it looks like he's going to head towards bottom here. And I believe a Thresh hook did land, even though we can't see it just yet. But it looks like the cameraman doesn't want to take us down there. So I guess an unsuccessful gank.
He is very impressive, but Wei Xiao actually burned both flash and heal.
Yes, he did. He's very low on HP. Teleport even coming in bottom lane. Koro picks up the first kill, though, onto a bottom lane still. And there we go. Now we can see what's happening. Sin did get killed. I believe Koro did teleport down as well. Picks that one up. Escapes as well. Calme tried to follow.
First portal at which to work.
What? But he was unsuccessful in getting there quick enough.
So both teleports burned. Who got the kill? Oh, it was Salme. So obviously taking that gold up to the top lane, gonna help out that Gragas. Again, talk about how he needs a little bit of time to ramp up, so hopefully he'll be able to put some more pressure onto Salme there in the top lane with that extra gold. But Klilev now in the back, looking to make a goose.
He's going in. They have Conan. They're trying to go for the stun on top of him. He will flash away from the swamp. The stun will not get actually put up, but the hook, it comes under turn and the flay. That's going to be a kill for Wei Xiao. He picks someone up. He's going to escape as well with the help of that lantern. A fantastic turnaround. And he talked about Klilev being really picky with the ganks he goes for and how explosive he get on the other end. But if he dies like that, that can be explosive.
Completely burned by that Descendant right there. Good job by Conan. Bright spot for EDG is that he didn't lose any of his buffs there. They had both timed out, so As far as times to die, that was probably the best time for him to die. He was sitting on a bit of gold, was able to make it back there, but it's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, really unfortunate for him, and obviously does make Lucian a little bit tougher for Nami to deal with if it already wasn't bad enough with the, as you coined it, wife steal lane. But 45, 46 now to 50 here. Top lane 41 to 23, a little bit more in favor of Koro. And you mentioned before, you know, Cao Mei built up to the Spirit Visage, really hard to push out a lane here, but with that early blasting one coming in, it seems like Koro wants to keep this pressure on.
Koro's doing a good job just feeding the CS into the tower. It's very hard for Mundo to last hit under tower. I mean, he has this cleaver available for him, but otherwise no other ability is really going to help him out there. He can try to utilize his W, but sometimes just makes it harder. So Koro making the correct call, just trying to stall out the power spike of Cao Mei for as long as possible by denying as much EXP and gold. But now, Paranoia in the mid lane.
Yeah, Nocturne trying to go in on you here. He does get the fear under the turret, but does run him away in the opposite direction. But the stun, it comes in, it's good here. And the ultimate as well into Sim, but they don't have the damage. Could have now being turned on, but we see Ninja's out of mana here. He's being forced back. Both junglers come into that middle lane. No kills being netted here, but a lot of damage being done, obviously, to both junglers.
Cliff doing a good job, though, kind of catching back up on the CS. 27 to 32, still a pretty big advantage for Axiom, but it was pretty detrimental in the start there, especially with that failed gank. See if he can kind of return to his jungle, level up, maybe wait for another gank until he has his ultimate available.
Yeah, we can see that Sin, I mean, with the time that he's committed in the jungle, he's level 6, a little bit earlier than Kulev. Fortunately, didn't let him a kill here. But I would imagine when Kulev hits 6, there's going to be some lanes he's looking at. I mean, he knows what Conan has no flash, Sin has no flash, even Cao Mei. I mean, he pretty much knows everyone on the other team doesn't have an escape mechanism, and even Kulev getting low at that blue buff.
And he's got great kill potential from all the lanes. The fantastic CC coming from FCZF, Syndra, the burst damage and CC that she brings for ganks.
Right now, we do have obviously bottom lane just continue to push in here. Still a little bit of a lead here for Nami, but we're only, what, 9 minutes in. It's tied in kills. Gold, 500 difference here, not too much. But we're not seeing any early dragons come out just yet here from either team. But we see items starting to really come into their own. We have the Athenes and Holy Grail done for both mid laners. The Negatron Cloak done for Cao Mei still. The BF Sword coming in for Wei Zhao. And that Bilgewater Cutlass picked up here for Nami.
Keeps going the Bork first on the Kog'Maw, whereas, again, Deft kind of pioneered the Kog'Maw pick, likes to go that Trinity. See if it works out for him this time around. Obviously did not find success last game.
Yeah, very true. I mean, we went, what, Youmuu's after, I believe, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, he went to the Ghost Blade. Which, again, the movement speed helps him out, but I just feel like there's so much more gained from the Trinity Force, as well as movement speed, extra health, attack speed. He's got the burst damage.
And I feel like the side of EDG have a much better team for protection this time than they did last time. I mean, with a Braum, a Syndra who can knock them back, an Evelyn who can slow them down, a Gragas who can displace. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like he's really almost impossible to get to if he plays his cards right.
You're absolutely right. It's much more a protect the Kog'Maw composition. I like the fact that they also moved more power to you, but FCZF looking to make something happen. Kulev was in the back things, is just going to walk back into river. Look at the wards through that river from Lord Leaf, though, as well as the pink ward. I feel like they knew that Kulev was in the area.
Well, he will be spotted. Actually, no, I believe he's not spotted going into that jungle again. Maybe he's going to swing on towards the backside here. Nami still getting a little bit aggressive. Top lane, though, it's starting to normalize a little bit. It's starting to Cao Mei get a little bit of power. He's obviously level 7 now. Not that far behind CS anymore either here. But here comes the double gank and we have Kulev coming down towards the bottom side. But Moto Elite quick enough to notice that, quick enough to rotate back. And they're going to survive this one. But now, I don't know. I feel like, do they know Wei Zhao was going back?
They didn't have vision of it because the creeps were pushed forward. But it looks like they're pinging for the dragon.
Yeah.
And Yu's doing a good job making sure that he's forcing Ninja in towards his tower so he can't step forward to contest.
All right, so something we didn't see out of EDG last time. They're going to be able to pick up their first turret, I believe, here, but they're all spread out by the Lantern. Nocturne, well, he does have his ultimate to get there if he does need to, but Sin going towards the top side either way here. And that dragon will be secured. So EDG pick up the first one about 11 minutes in, and they have secured a little bit more of a goal lead. Now 1,000 here, as they are down 1 game in the series. But what the hell happened? Koro teleported down towards the bottom lane with that deep ward, and gets a free kill.
Pretty easy teleport to a cast, pops Wei Zhao like a balloon. See if Nami and FCZF can quickly push this wave and deny even more experience and gold from him. Would definitely give Nami a good heads up in this lane.
And, Koro, you mentioned Cao Mei as being the guy who's really good at, split pushing and with the teleports. But Koro, I have to give him credit, though. I mean, that was, what, 2 teleports and 2 kills he's picked up now from that. I mean, fantastic timing, great calls coming out of the team. And he has a Rod of Ages already done here, 11.5 minutes in. That's not a good sign for World Elite. That is a ridiculously strong Gragas.
Exactly. You have to get your Roa before 15 minutes for it to really be cost effective and worth there. Has it at 11 minutes, like you said. Fantastic play from him. Great job by the fact that not only does he get the teleport and the kill, but then he gets back in the lane. But hold on a second, because Ninja going really hard on you.
Oh, the what was that? Sin tried to flash, get the ultimate off, but either way, he's not going to get the fear up because he's going to get the distance. He has the health. Clearly left, turn this one around. He's going to pick up a kill on a Sin. And I don't know what the hell happened there, but that was really weird coming out of Sin. And now Calme popping ultimate, trying to run away from Koro. He should be fine. I'm trying to go through my head what happened, and he ulted, flashed over the wall, and then tried to ult him again?
I don't know if he maybe lost vision around that corner.
I think he might have.
Glitch or something, but a complete mechanical misstep there.
That was really unfortunate. That does net EDG another kill for themselves, and they're starting to really ramp up here. That one did go over to Clearlove this time, so he's able to get his first kill of the game. And now, I mean, World Elite, they're feeling a little bit of pressure, I feel.
Definitely. Saving grace, though, was that the kill did go on Clearlove, so obviously in the jungle, not in the lane. That said, not the best target for kills to go on anyway. Even if Evelynn was in a lane, obviously she's going to build one damage item and then should go straight tank. So losing a lot of power as far as their composition is concerned, but Syndra being a big powerhouse again with that long-range stun. Wow, Vaccine. What an ultimate, that's all I could say.
Yeah, I wish we can go back and look at that one because that was really odd, especially for, well, his second one of the game. But either way, I think it was just maybe a little bit of a lost vision kind of thing. He tried to get there as quick as possible. But either way, he ended up getting killed. He's now 0-2 here, not having the best of games so far here like he did on his Elise. And, you know, FCZF, he's being Braum. He's being really aggressive. He's forced them back with that Q spam. And it's allowing Nami to get all this free CS. He's taking the lead, 116 to 101 now.
The power swing for Kog'Maw has really come into play. Obviously has his ultimate there for the poke potential. And it's really just now become a poke lane. Braum steps up to the side, throws it a Q. Nami presses W, throws out an R.
Yeah, it's becoming really troublesome for World Elite. You can see that reflected, I guess, their gameplay because, you know, Sin, he's down towards the bomb side. Ultimate not up just yet, but potentially trying to be there to turn around a dive, maybe thinking Clearlove is down towards that bottom side. But either way, you know, EDG more than happy to do some free damage to this turret. They should be able to pick it up here. But Sin now coming in, and we'll just scare them back.
Fortunately, didn't have his paranoia available to him, and I think he's, what, 0 for 2 on getting anything out of his paranoia? But yeah. He's pressed it, but hasn't followed out through with any sort of kills or assists.
He had a decent one trying to gank in middle, but Clearlove was there to able to, well, turn around. They went head-to-head, I believe, in the end of that one. But either way, I mean, yeah, he's been unsuccessful, and that's what Nocturne, I guess, really thrives on, is that mid-game, using the ultimates to get into these lanes and get easy ganks. I mean, he doesn't have a terrible team for it, like a team comp.
He has also built a flare. He does have the CS advantage on Clearlove, actually a really hefty CS advantage, especially for the jungle, 71 to 50. I mean, that's big for a lane, but in the jungle, you have to think it takes that much longer to get to these camps to pick up these creeps. So we'll see if he can get his flare up and going for him.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens here, because he's continued to farm up now, it seems like. He's still sitting at white camp. I think Clearlove's trying to catch up a little bit as well, but Dragon, 2 minutes away. That's got to be the next point of action here. And, you know, Koro, the damage he was doing, it seems gone. Like, the pressure he had in lane, and yeah, he's still up about 30 CS, but with that Spectral's Cal alone, you can see how Calme can just tank it without even carrying.
Salmai starting to get his resistances, has his magic resistance item, has the region available to him, so it's now really just kind of a ticking time bomb of how much Koro's going to spend wasting his time with Mundo top. Not much he can do.
Not indeed, and it looks like
he could stop the teleport though. I guess that's one thing he said. Salmai cannot stop Koro's teleport.
And right now, FCCF and Clearlove are coming up towards this top side here. Calme gonna try to back onto the turret, but I wonder if they're actually gonna notice him. He pops the ultimate, just get a little health regen in. He needs to call for backup here, but Sin, he has the ultimate up, and here they go. FCCF going for the dive. They're gonna go straight for Calme here. They knock a little bit away from the turret here, but there's no ways to escape this one. An easy kill. Koro secures that one with the ultimate, and Sin, unfortunately, just wasn't in the right place at the right time. And you know, you talked about, you know, the warding, the map control, the map vision, and how it's kind of lacking in China, but we're seeing that because they didn't even notice he was coming.
Exactly right. And it was also a fantastic dive from EDG, the fact that they led Koro in with the, he used his W to give himself the tankiness, led in on the tower aggro, then kind of played it to the very tip, just seeing how long it would take to dive. And Salmai, unfortunately, just kind of resigned himself at the very end of that. He completely stopped moving and just gave up.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate for him right there, but he's now 0-1, has the Spirit Visage now done, and he has his turret gone, which obviously could be an upside for him depending on exactly what Koro does. But 20 seconds to go on Dragon here. Wouldn't be surprised if EDG was ready for it, you know, right away. But, you know, mid lane, it's been damn quiet no kills, no deaths, no assists for either of them.
Well, what Ninja's going to do is he's going to play as far back as possible, but hold on a second because Conan's going to burn his flash.
And teleport coming for the backside as well. Koro, he's going to do it yet again, looking for another kill. 3 for 3 on this one. Nami picks up one, and it looks like Wei Xiao will be a little bit of distance here. No ultimate up for Koro, though. Either way, a fantastic teleport coming in, netting another kill. He's 100% on these so far this game.
Koro completely on point right now with the teleports, like you said, but this will lead into a numbers advantage for this Dragon. Obviously, Xiaomei has this teleport available. Isn't looking like he's going to try to contest for this, so another free Dragon, their second of the game for EDG.
Well, we see EDG, I mean, they've been able to build up a big advantage now. 5-1, 2 Dragons under their belt. Looks like they might finally lose their top turret. Ziggs ultimate coming in. Gonna be a little bit too late there. Clearlove does secure that one with the smite. So we will have finally a turret being taken down, it seems, and even Sin might catch up Koro here.
Does have vision. I think he's going to run. They're thinking about it. Like, do we want to play with the Gragas? Do we not? Issue is very tanky, has a lot of items, has a lot of mobility. They don't have the best CC between Mundo and Nocturne. I don't think that there's any way that they could possibly lock him down, never mind burst through that amount of health.
Even Conan's here too, off to the side, and they will go for the Fear of Koro. He will body slam right back into Sin. He will ult it back towards his teammates who's coming in. Clearlove is trying to get there as quick as possible here, and well, the tankiness, you said it perfectly. Koro taking pretty much no damage there and just forcing them all back with the sheer mass.
1v3, Gragas wins out.
I wanted to say a different word, but I don't think I should. But either way, I mean, Koro is having a fantastic game. 3-0 now. 30 CS lead. And between 80 carries, well, looks like Name going to go for the same build here. Has the Brutalizer yet again.
He really likes the Ghost Blade. Obviously, we talked about how it grants Kog'Maw the movement speed. He gets a lot from the attack speed as well. But again, Name, please, Trinity Force, just do it, man. But we'll see if it works better for him this time. Obviously, he's got a lot more protection. Koro, though, going real hard in that top lane. Just does not care anything about Xiaomei. Pretty much an untouchable rock. I don't think even if they brought Ziggs, Thresh, Mundo, or Nocturne up there, that they would have enough damage to burst through him before he got away.
Yeah, probably not, especially with that flash still available and the ultimate coming off cooldown. And you know, I bet you if Genjo was playing Kog'Maw right now, he would have built a tier already, knowing him back in the day. But I mean, it wasn't terrible last game, and we'll see how it works out in this one here. But the Themes of Holy Grail now done, obviously, for both mid laners. Infinity Edge now picked up for Wei Xiao here, and the Zeal. And Sin, you better be paying attention. And that was just... I don't think he was paying attention. He was not paying attention, no. That's something just could not happen to you. You should... It's unfortunate for him, but right now you can see it. You know, World Elite, just from that alone, you can feel how on tilt they are.
And this is exactly what we were talking about before Champ Select, that World Elite came in pretty much with the exact same composition, you know, even an 80 caster, but I don't think Clearlove's probably gonna... I feel like Conan's like, oh, I got him, oh god, he's got me, and immediately turns tail and runs.
Yeah, and Clearlove gonna take down a pink ward as well for his troubles here, but has a Spectral's Cowl, able to build up some early magic to, you know, resist the poke that Mundo can do, and not to mention Ziggs there. So that early kill and the 2 assists he's been able to, you know, build up, even though he wasn't that impactful early on, has really netted him the tankiness that he's going to need here for this mid game.
With the paranoia going into the bottom lane.
Oh, he's looking for a kill here. They're on to Name. The Fear will come in. We'll have 1 kill, though, picked up for Name here. He's looking for number 2 onto Wei Xiao, and he's going to get it as well. He picks up the double there. And now Sin, well, he's looking to escape this one, but he will take the damage from the Kog'Maw passive. He flashed away, but Clearlove doesn't care. Picks that one up. And now FCZF getting low here, but with Clearlove there with their red buff, they should be able to pull this off and hold him back here. Koro doesn't have teleport, but right now he's going for Ninja here, and that's going to be a free kill. That is a 1 for 3 here picked up now. Sorry, 1 for 4. And they might even look for number 5 if they want to go for the bottom lane gank.
Sun has to be very careful. Already burned his ultimate, so it's not going to be available from this time. I doubt they'll be able to lock him down, though, just because all of their CC is pretty much backing off, though Koro is going to be able to kind of bully him there. Fantastic collapse. Again, Koro coming out huge with his position. Didn't even have teleport that time, just kind of wandered down, found Ninja in a bad spot, and World Elite, like you said, looking very on tilt. Again, we talked about EDG's ability to adapt. They completely switch gears, have a different composition, and they're firing on all cylinders. They found the answers that they want, and they're finding the early game. We'll see if they can transition to late game or if World Elite can make something happen.
I really feel like Nocturne just is not doing anything for him this one. I mean, he's 0-4, obviously, so you can kind of say that, you know, with no doubt, but he hasn't been impactful like he needs to be in these ganks. I wonder if a different jungler like Elise might have, you know, fared a little bit better for him, but well, either way, look at what Ninja's picked up here.
Has his Magi's. To be fair, though, Magi's is much more common in LPL than it is probably any other region. It's not that strange of an item to see. I know that sounds like really awkward, but again, you talk about how high kill LPL games are. I know that Xie, World Elite Academy's previous mid laner, it's now Mickey God, was known for his Annie mid that pretty much consistently build Majais. So I'm not really going to fault Ninja. I will fault Ninja, though, in saying that the best synergy that he has on his team is obviously with the Paranoia, and Ninja has been unable to move from that mid lane to find the Mega Infernal Bomb with the Paranoia. I don't think I've seen that combo go down once.
Yeah, it's like, the wave clear that you've been able to apply has just been too much. It's just too hard to deal with here. And now Sin getting caught out here. Here comes Syndra from the side as well. The stun will connect, and Sin will get the lantern out. He will escape that one. He got so lucky that Conan was paying attention right there. But again, EDG are just roaming around the map so much better than World Elite are. And World Elite have so many wards in their own jungle to spot this happening either way.
Engagement's not done.
Wow, they're going straight in. Sin is low on HP. Kulov does get hooked in, but he doesn't care. He's still very tanky. He's looking to escape this one, though. He will get very low on life, and he will survive with a sliver of HP. But they take down the turret. They're going to successfully back away. And EDG now netting themselves the 4th turret of the game.
Kulov, pretty overzealous. I'm surprised he didn't go down there. Very lucky. I don't feel like that was any sort of outplay from his position. Just World Elite not necessarily paying the best attention and spreading their damage. So, kind of questioning on that Evelyn ultimate. I mean, obviously they took the tower, we're looking for more, but it's greedy plays like that they can't afford to do against a team as experienced as World Elite. They were lucky that they didn't get punished harder.
Yeah, that could have been really terrible for him. And right now, you see Kalme getting ulted away. Koro trying to go over the fight here, but no Ignite, I'm pretty sure they're just going to back off. Not really able to push each other out just yet. But Dragon up in 1 second. And look at that on the minimap. EDG already prepared for it, and they're looking for number 3.
We'll go uncontested, not even any sort of vision from World Elite. We kind of praised them for their wards last game. In early game, they had decent wards, but again, talking about China's lack of vision. That said, they've been pushed, I think, past they haven't been able to go past their red buff. EDG has had complete control over that jungle.
Mm-hmm. Very true, and we even saw the one time that Ninja did go in towards the red buff, he got killed by Koro 1v1. But right now, look at this. Look at the rotate coming in for the side of World Elite. They have 4 men now towards the top side. They have a pink where they can obviously spot out right now, and they're going to sneak all the way through. They're not spotted out in this one, and they're going to sit inside the bush here. They're looking for a fight. They're looking for a turret or two. Are they really backing?
I think I'm trying to look at what they're doing. Even if they grab the death sentence, I feel like there's not enough damage there. I mean, Wei Xiao does have the Infinity Edge, so I don't know. I don't think there's enough hard CC to catch a Gragas, especially on that short of a lane. But I think they caught him in the top lane. Well, it looks like I was wrong. There they go.
It looks like they have the damage in the end, though. I mean, with 3 people, potentially 4 coming on that one, they had to almost certainly picked up a kill there. But either way, it's still just 3 to 10 in favor of EDG. That was 1 death, yes, but they haven't enough men up towards the top side to defend this turret. And EDG haven't dropped a single one so far here. And you can see, you know, they're up about 7,000 gold here. And that is a huge lead. I wonder now, Baron, is that something we're going to see coming up soon out of EDG? Because you mentioned before, they don't like to really finish games, or they feel like they can't without that Baron buff.
Oh yes, it's going to be the Baron dance. I feel like they're waiting to get control of all the waves and get every single one past River. Then they're going to mosey down into Baron, completely control the vision. You have 3 sweepers on each side of the team. Actually, a teleport coming in. They're looking to start it now.
Did they spot I think they spot the teleport coming in with that ward. That was luckily right there. But either way, EDG going straight forward here. And they see Nocturne, bottom Sin. Will have the ultimate to get there if they, well, if he can quick enough here. But that Baron, it's got to be going down so fast at the call. Effie's doing a good job of zoning them away here with the hook coming onto you. They're maybe going for a potential dive on top of the Cohen coming in as well. The Nocturne's making it use just to try to buy some time. But there's the Baron picked up. And a Braum ultimate coming in perfectly. Kalme forced the flash away from this one, and he won't escape. Nami's going in. He picks up a kill. That's his 5th of the game here. And now EDG are on the charge.
I don't think that there was anything more that World Elite could have asked for. Obviously, they didn't have the smite in the area, but they had Ninja, he had the blue buff. The entire EDG team was grouped up in a small pit area, and they weren't able to find the damage anywhere. And now EDG, free Baron, looking at the 2nd tier top tower, completely uncontested. Axine's trying to find something, but complete misposition from World Elite.
He's able to pick up at least 2 turrets. Got the bottom tier 1, got the middle tier 1, so got that for his team so far. Might get actually the middle tier 2 as well here. But perfectly spot on. Wasn't in the right place. Missed on that Baron. And now EDG looking super strong. You picking up the Ramadan Death Cap as well as Koro here. And now Sin, well, he's dead. Oh, the Lantern gonna be enough to get him away, actually. Fantastic job again by Conan, who's been so spot on with those lanterns.
I think he survived with literally 1 HP. The red buff was ticking away. If it wasn't for that lantern and the shield it provided when he grabbed it. Good night, sweet prince. I'm sorry, Axine.
That was, I swear, Conan's just been, he's always been in the right place at the right time, I feel, with these lanterns. And he's really saved as a team so many damn times from it. But either way, that, oh, the Magi's, there we go. I was trying to think of the name. For Ninja, that's how often we see it here in Europe. No stacks on it so far. Has no kills, no assists. Has the death cap almost done, though. And we see that stack shift finally picked up here for Wei Zhao.
There's a big issue if you're 0-1-0 at 27 minutes into a game. Obviously, you talk about how he has semi-global presence with his ultimate. It really just goes back to you found his stride in that mid lane for Ninja. And to be frank and honest, I feel that the matchup for mid between EDG and Ninja is very much in favor of you. I feel like he's the stronger mid laner. I think that Xiaomei, obviously stronger than Korra right now in his performance, although Korra looking fantastic this game, 4-1-1. And Wei Xiao Name is the other big matchup. And I feel like that one could go either way. Obviously the godfather of AD carries versus kind of the new age AD carry king.
Well, right now, Nami, I mean, Infinity Edge, Blade of the Rune King. Wow, Infinity Edge, he just finished up. He literally just finished up Infinity Edge when all he had was, I believe, a pickaxe. Like, that's how much money he was sitting on. And with those 3 items, it is going to do ridiculous damage here. And I almost find it impossible for EDG to throw this lead. They're up, what, 10k gold 28 minutes in. They have the Baron buff. They're starting to barrel down that middle lane, looking for some turrets here. And they have, obviously, some good poke coming in from Syndra and Gragas. And only way clear that we have out of World Elite, I guess, is just Ziggs.
I love where the gold is on EDG. Like, obviously, you want it on Kog'Maw. I feel like it's incredibly valuable on Gragas just because it's going to offer that much more wave clear and tankiness for free. The fact that Syndra, yeah, it's nice if she's fed, but she doesn't need kills to do what she wants. But Descent is now going down.
Oh, they're going straight for you as well. They're using everything they can. They will pick up 1 kill. They're looking for maybe number 2 here as Gragas Barrel comes in, separates them just a tad bit here, but SCZF using the ultimate only catches 1 though. And it looks like Worldy, they're just trying to back away from this one, netting themselves that 1 kill. Wei Zhao gets taken down by the ultimate though from Name, and that hook coming in will actually save onto Kawame's life here. But either way, they lose 1, they trade 1 for 1. Well, actually, they're going to net themselves 2 kills. All right, so they're going to actually come out ahead here in this fight, and they're going to take a turret from this one. And that just shows how far ahead they are. I mean, they were in a bad position, they got caught out, and yet they still won the fight.
And again, it's about where the gold is on their team. They catch out you, again, just has the assist, 1 and 2. I actually think a surrender vote's coming because all the players just took off their headsets.
Yeah, I believe we're on a little bit of a delay here behind them in the game. So I'm assuming you are definitely right on that one. And it looks like we might see game 3 here. EDG pushing onto the inhibitor turret. They're going to take that one down here. They're going to take down the inhibitor as well. And they are, what, 13-4 now, up over 13,000 gold here. And they are looking stellar, complete opposite what we saw them in the last game.
Night and day, really. And again, it goes back to the fact Worldly cannot adapt. They tried for the exact same strategy that won them the first game. EDG came out, knew what they wanted, had the picks to counter it, and came back swinging. Especially on Nami, 7-1-3 right now on Kog'Maw at 30 minutes into a game. This is effectively a, what, a 55, 60-minute Kog'Maw build running around.
I think he's having definitely a good time in this one. He probably has enough money to buy another item if he wants, maybe like a Last Whisper or something in there, because he's just so damn fed. I mean, he's ahead in CS as well, and obviously the, what, 3-4 Dragon's under his belt with the Baron buff has such a huge gold lead, and let's actually see what he picks up here. It does go for a Zeal, so for a little bit of attack speed. But Ninja, again, I mean, his Ziggs was so instrumental in that last game, but right now he's just been completely shut out. And the thing is, it's not even, I feel like it's not even his fault almost. It's just kind of like, well, every time Sin came to gank, either he failed or he died.
I want to talk a little bit about the, what I like to call the puppy syndrome. So a lot of teams got Koreans, obviously, Starhorn Royal Club, LG, did LG get them? I'm trying to think of all through the rosters. World Elite Academy, IG got Koreans, World Elite. I feel like if you know anything about World Elite's previous roster, they had a fantastic mid laner. They had Sukum, which not to say that Ninja isn't good, but he is nothing compared to Sukum in a lot of people's opinions. But the fact that they subbed him out is because they didn't want to have a, you have to think like one Korean is kind of like a puppy, and they didn't want to leave it alone. It had to have someone to communicate with. You know, like when a puppy gets lonely, you buy another puppy for when you go to work. And I feel like that was kind of the case for World Elite. They couldn't just have like Axine, the big Korean jungler coming in. They had to get another Korean in the mid lane to work with him.
Well, if one Korean's good, then two has to be amazing, right? I mean, that's just how it works. Oh, Wei Zhao. He will get caught out here. We see Ninja off to the side as well. Krillov just tanking him out. Teleport going to be coming in as well from Mei and the Nocturne ultimate. Wei Zhao, look how damn low life he is. Krillov is taking no damage here. They're doing everything they possibly can to keep him off of his AD carry. Nami finally making his way down to this fight here. Koro has no ultimate up though, but look at the damage they're still able to do. They are tanking them up and not even carrying. Sin gets a drop. Yu finally picks up his first kill of the game here. Conan going to be dropped as well. Nami secured himself the 8th, and there's the Sinja ultimate just for good measure, picking up the kill on a Ninja, and that is going to be EDG coming out with a win here. They have the time to finish off this game.
Namai didn't even move that team fight, really. He was pretty much a sitting turret, just completely motionless. No one touched him. He had to walk a little bit in the back half of that, but you never want a Kog'Maw that just gets to sit there and be a Gatling gun.
And that's exactly what he was that game too. I mean, Infinity Edge, Blade of the Rune King, Youmuu's Zeal as well, and probably had the money for even more than that when he did go back to buy. But again, I mean, if we look at both games now, if we compare the two, World Elite, I feel like had a much tougher time finishing off their game, but EDG, I mean, once they got the ball rolling, once they got, you know, a couple of kills built up here for Kog'Maw, it was just like game over. They had the perfect position every time. Koro did a fantastic job of rotating, and his teleports, again, were phenomenal.
They found their comfort picks. Like I said, EDG, I think, is the far superior team fighting team. I think that World Elite has a better rotation aspect. They had a better picks and bans phase, but again, their lack of ability to adapt back-to-back games. They had problems with it in the playoffs. They're having problems with it now. They have one more chance at this. Normally in LPL, this would just be, you know, 1-1 split. Each team would get 1 point, and that would be it. But they do have a final chance here to see if they can win that 5,000 grand prize.
And not to mention the spot into the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship coming up, obviously, I believe, next year. I don't know where it is just yet. Or maybe I'm just lying to you and I actually know exactly where it is, but can't tell you. But either way, I mean, what? The last time these two teams met in the LPL in Week 5, they tied as well. So obviously really keeping true to these two Titans going head-to-head.
And they're both tied for first currently right now. So this is right now, currently in LPL, the top two teams facing off.
All right, well, before we get to Game 3, obviously we're going to have a little bit of a break here, but any quick thoughts on Game 3 coming up?
I feel like Ziggs, again, is going to be a big contested pick, although, unfortunately, it looks like EDG kind of found their stride against it. I know that Lulu is a big, strong pickup for Ninja. He's shown a lot of promise as well on Jace, so I expect that if they let the Ziggs through, that he'll either fall back onto one of two of those champions. Salmi is either going to look for Gragas. I don't think he found a lot of success on the Mundo, or Kale.
Yeah, he really unfortunately didn't. But guys, we're going to have that quick little break. When we come back, it's going to be Game 3 of the Intel Extreme Masters Shenzhen. And we'll see you guys then. We're getting underway with the game. As you can see, final game of the day, EDG up against World Elite. And we're going to find out, well, who's going to come home as the victor. As we can see, we're going to be running pretty similar items. We have a pink ward, though, coming us in very, very early on.
I'm actually really curious that Axie didn't go for a sweeper. 9 times out of 10 on Elite jungle, you go for that sweeper as opposed to the trinket ward, just because she's going to start W anyway, so she can face check brushes instead of using the trinket with her spider lane. She likes to have those early ganks, which is where the sweeper comes in handy. Obviously, with the pink ward, looking for something early, possibly the top lane or maybe an invasion on the jungle, but pretty much a line of scrimmage setup right now.
Yeah, it seems like it's been that almost every single game so far here, and Kuro will spot out Kame. We'll at least know the ward is there. It does give him at least that early knowledge of where it is going to be here. And Kame, well, they're not going to take on the ward either way. But we do have actually, I believe, Name trying to go for a little bit of invade here, try a little bit of poke just to see, I guess, where the defenses of World Elite are. And Wei Zhao was able to push him away very, very quickly.
It's also going to be a 2v2 in that bot lane. I feel like it's going to be completely about control of the creeps and whether whoever gets that creep advantage as far as laying down sufficient poke. CZF has the advantage in that he has the runic, and since he's a melee, he'll be able to proc that and help push the wave. Obviously, Lucian very good at pushing a wave as well because he can poke and push with his piercing light. Other side of that, though, is if Conan starts, instead of Dark Binding, Tormented Soil, and gets an early push and keeps that wave shoved in, Lucian's not able to really manage, you know, do I poke here or farm the creep wave? So we'll see how they play this early level 1 and 2.
And during that little bit of an early phase, you actually had Wei Zhao start to head up towards the top side of the map all of a sudden. I was thinking maybe there would be a potential lane swap coming in, but he sticks to it, sticks to his guns. Going to be down bottom here. Krillov starting off at his blue buff, and he will secure that one. And we're going to have, well, red buff start up here for Sin. And it's like it's a normal game finally. We're not seeing the top laners stick with the junglers here for a while, and we're gonna finally see how a normal standard game to be going here in the meantime. But right now we have obviously you up against Ninja in the mid lane, Ziggs versus Xerath. You know, you talked about a little bit earlier on when it comes to that poke potential. That lane, I feel like mid lane has just been so not boring, but there hasn't been a lot of action breaking down, at least in the first game mostly. And
that's mostly due to the fact that Ziggs has been available in all 3 games, and anytime you have a Ziggs, I mean, if he doesn't have a matchup he likes, he's just going to step back, clear waves. If he has a matchup he likes, he's going to step forward, but the other person's just going to run away, obviously on such a short lane. But a lot of action coming out early in this top lane, actually. Xiaomei and Koro. Koro obviously recognizing that the only time he's going to have an advantage in this lane is going to be early before Xiaomei really starts to get his ramp on. Jax, obviously, an independent champion.
Needs to be very hard to deal with later on in the game here. And Koro, well, he's down below half HP. He does have a Doran's Blade Start for both top laners. But that health bot will be kicking in here. We do actually have Clear Love heading up towards this top side, looking for maybe an early gank or maybe just a little bit of an invade here, but they could be successful. Xiaomei is very low on life.
Does have both double buffs as well. And again, this is so important. They need to put Jax down early before he's an issue.
Oh, look at this. We do have actually Wei Zhao and Conan coming up to the top lane as well here. Xiaomei going in. Does get the stun off on a Koro, but he's not going to care for the fight here. Forces the flash, and he's going to be taken down first blood. Going over to Clear Love yet again here. And if only Xiaomei just stayed alive for a little bit longer, he would have had Wei Zhao and Conan there to support him. But fantastic job. Clear Love picking up the first kill.
Great patience from Clear Love right there to make sure that the Leap Strike was used before he went in. So Xiaomei would have to be forced to burn the flash. Unfortunately, flash comes out, still loses his life for that. I like the idea, though, that Wei Zhao and Conan, you know, really recognized what was going to happen. Unfortunately, just not quick enough to rotate.
And we did actually have, I believe, Xiaomei teleport down towards the bottom lane, so he's not missing out on any of that farm here. And obviously, the lane swap's coming back yet again. Going to keep the 80 carry supports top lane now for both teams here. And top laners down towards the bottom, so they don't want to give Jax an easy time. They definitely don't want to give Wei Zhao an easy lane here. But as you can see, you know, with the backing that Name's been able to have, he's picked up 2 long swords.
There's also a heavy CS favor, 24-17. Obviously, the wave is pushed against Wei Zhao, but he kind of had a little bit of an inappropriate back on that first tower, so he lost, I think, half a wave when he came up to the top. So definitely still favoring Name as he takes his time sauntering up there.
And Clear Love as well. He's just waiting for the gank. Still has that red buff available. There is obviously both summoners up for both top lane, or well, both top laners, quote unquote, right now. But you just go back to base here, probably pick up his chalice and turn back to lane very shortly. But Clear Love's still committing a lot of time in the top lane, and Sin as well in the jungle on the bottom side of the map, trying to commit for a gank onto Koro. But it looks like Wei Zhao might get actually bursted down. We don't see it, but you can hear it, and you can see the blinking lights, and he will actually survive that one.
Camera guy really likes to look at bot lane. Despite what is happening on the map, he always wants to look bot. But dive coming in now.
Let's see if they can land it, though. Sin going to actually be taking up the turret here, trying to send the backside. Koro with a nice flash, and a nice pillar actually does separate them. And it looks like he'll survive for a little bit longer, but the turret aggro, it's stopped because of the repel here. And Koro needs some backup, but he's not going to get it. He's going to try to potentially run away from this one, but he can't really afford to leave the turret here. He's still being bursted down. Now Xiaomei taking up the turret here, and Koro, he's getting healed up ever so slightly from every minion that's dying, but he has no HP. Xiaomei being forced back yet again. The flash comes in, and Sin will lock down that kill finally. But a good stalling effort by Koro. He forces the flash out of Sin as he committed his as well, and he has to teleport to get back down to the lane.
Blue suede shoes on Koro right there. Yes, he does fall eventually, but I mean, that run around the pillar was fantastic. The fact that he forced out the flash, it really just was a mechanical misstep from Axie and misusing his E, the repel there, to drop tower aggro so early. One advantage that they do have is they pick up the kill, but they also pick up the kill where all of the creep, gold, and experience is pushed onto Koro's tower. So not only did he die, but he lost that entire wave.
And I like the patience that Koro had just now. I mean, the thing is, he could have teleported bottom and got that entire wave. But I guess, you know, currently Name and FCZF noticed that Wei Zhao and Conan were gone. So they said, hold off on it. We're going to go back bottom because they're probably going there. And they'll keep that 2-2 matchup. It's still 42-30 CS, a big lead here for Name. And I feel like it's going to continue to grow here at this point.
Name's definitely making sure that he's hot on Wei Zhao's trail. Abusing that Kog'Maw. Obviously, a little bit of a power swing when the level 6 is available to them, but for right now, Lucian kind of, big dog on the field.
And he's bossing him around right now. You can see Wei Zhao just respecting that, just constantly backing away. And EDG have full control of this bottom lane. So a good start for them. Obviously tied up kills, tied up in gold as well. And it looks like Sin is trying to go for a gank potentially on that top side, as you can see him just lingering in that top side jungle. But he hasn't committed just yet here, and it looks like even in the meantime, Wei Xiao and Conan just gonna go back to farm their white camp. Oh, here's the gank coming in. Koro getting caught out. Zig's ultimate gonna come in as well to try to clear out that wave or do some damage here. And, well, it doesn't matter. Koro gets taken down. Clearlove comes in, but a little bit too late there. Sin will escape. And ultimate wasn't enough to actually take him down. But they're trying to chase Cao Mei. He's gonna have the jump here in just a few seconds. And he will escape. So another well-executed gank coming out of World Elite this time.
Did a much better job that time around utilizing his E cooldown and not misusing that. I still want to talk about Koro. He's looking so good on his trundle despite dying back-to-back there. He, I don't know if you saw it, but the move is he actually stepped forward when the gank came in to hit that huge minion wave into the Mego Infernal Bomb so that the tower aggro would immediately transfer to Cao Mei. It's those little things. His trundle is so good.
Unfortunately for him, it didn't help him survive that one though, and they are definitely punishing him. Even though Cao Mei obviously did get killed, early on, they've been able to return those 2 kills just like you mentioned. And right now we can see Sword Food's picked up here for Sin, and a Phage now down for Cao Mei. Clearlove just picked up his red buff yet again here. Sin gonna be doing the same at his blue in just a few seconds. And again, World Elite are constantly trying to get Wei Xiao and Conan into their own lane. Look at
I feel like this is the 4th lane swap of the game. What I do want to talk about, though, speaking of kind of the early kill going over to Clearlove there when he ganks Cao Mei. Cao Mei's CS, 26 to 52 in the top lane. That's not where you want to have Jax, especially at, 8:39 minutes into this game. That's only going to get worse. Yes, Trundle scales fantastically into late game because, he just presses R on someone, he gets free stats, but nothing near to the hyper carry potential that Jax is going to bring.
Well, not to mention, I mean, there's a big difference between the AD carries as well on top of this, and we'll have Jax up against the AD carry support out of EDG, unless Braum is going to be rotating in the jungle. Looks like he will be. Meantime, though, mid lane 81 to 76, so still pretty damn even there. Ninja obviously not rotating anywhere to make any ganks successful, but so far, World Elite, I mean, they're sticking into us. Yeah, I mean, they were losing in the beginning with Clearlove getting that first blood, but they've kept their form, they've kept control, and well, right now they're winning.
Definitely, and I think you touched upon something when you brought up the CS difference between the AD carries. Yes, Name has a superior CS advantage, but he's going to lose the comp late game. Obviously, Cogman's going to outscale him. And even scarier, they have an answer. World Elite has an answer for a fed AD carry, and it's in the form of a fed Jax. It's, okay, if your AD carry gets big, if my top laner is big, especially on someone like Jax who can just assassinate that backline, it really doesn't matter how fed Lucian is.
Yeah, very true indeed. And, well, he's working up towards that Triforce very quickly, and it seems like Wei Xiao finally getting some free CS that he's been struggling to get here for the entire time. Down to still 32 here, and Koro getting harassed under turret quite a bit. Popping ultimate just to kind of heal back up here and try to force them back. In the meantime, Dragon being pinged on FCZF, trying to push Sin back out, and Clearlove starting up the Dragon. Down about half HP here. You off to the side, just going to offer a little bit of support. But here comes Cao Mei. We could see a fight break off on the back of this. The smite will be a little bit too early to Sin. Clearlove picks up. He does flash on the wall, but it doesn't matter. He gets taken down either way. Now Sin trying to run it for this one. Name doing some really good damage to him. And I imagine he should be going down to Ignite, and he will finally fall. FCZF picks that one up here. And now Cao Mei will just continue free reign over this. A nice black shield comes in. Actually mitigates the ultimate out of FCZF. And with that red buff, he might be able to keep up with FCZF, and he will potentially pick up the kill. The counter-strike will come in. He'll get one. Now you going to be going down. He dodges the Dark Binding somehow, but eventually does fall here, and that is a 1-for-3 trade in favor of World Elite, even though they did lose Dragon.
It looks so good for EDG, finally punishing the fact that Wei Xiao has made so many lane swaps that they didn't have the numbers advantage to contest the Dragon. That fight lasts so long that Wei Xiao has time enough as Kog'Maw to waddle from the top lane and to get involved on the back half of that fight, and ends up poorly for EDG. Yes, they got the Dragon, but at what cost?
Well, they got Dragon at the cost of Cao Mei now being 4-1. Like, that is not a good sign, as you pointed out before. And the Sheen is now completed as well. He's getting so close to finishing up that first core item. And I mean, yeah, I mean, Wei Xiao's behind, but you pointed it out. As long as Jax is just fed as that Lucian, it doesn't matter in the end. And right now, he's far superior at this point. And, Koro, I want to know if his teleport was up. Because when I looked after the fight was over, he did have it, but I don't know if it was up during the fight.
I think that they were trying to trade a double objective, and he got... Unfortunately, I can't pan over with the camera. I would love to, but I think he was trying to hammer damage down on the tower and trade not only the Dragon and the kills, or excuse me, the kills, but the Dragon for the tower.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, he wasn't able to pick that up here, and you do have Sin still in the top side of the jungle, looking to turn this one back on its head. Cao Mei with the red and blue buff here, going to pick up another turret. So we will have the first of the game going over to World Elite. And so far, I mean, we talked about, them not being able to adapt that quickly, but it seems like they've gone back to a comp that they've used many, many times. And I don't know whether that's adaptation or just kind of going back to what you're comfortable with, but either way, it's netting them a win so far.
Definitely a change-up. It favored for them well. Big comfort pick on Jax. Typically that doesn't go through, but hold on a second because Koro has found, a big team fight going across the board actually.
Sin getting very low, FCZF getting caught out as well, but Conan's the one being forced to flash away from this one. Wei Xiao as well, all by himself, looking for a little bit of help, but Clio's gonna get behind him, and now Wei Xiao is in trouble. He has flash though, he has the ability to escape this one, and he will probably be forced to use it, but no, he's actually able to just walk away with Ninja coming in from the side. No one actually killed just yet. In the meantime, Kame able to push that top lane, and it looks like we're gonna have a slight little bit of a pause coming into the game. A really interesting fight though breaking out. I mean, we had what, Sin get caught off by himself. Well, there it goes, just launched right back into it. But Sin got caught off, and unfortunately Koro wasn't able to finish him off, and then Wei Xiao smartly enough keeping that flash available.
You're doing a good job too, kited the side of that fight, laying down good Ziggs bombs. Unfortunately didn't have his blue buff available to him. Looks like Salme is actually going to punish that and steal it away, which that's a huge blow to someone like Ziggs, who is very blue dependent.
Free pickings for him, and I believe you will have his things in Holy Grail done very soon. There it is, actually finally coming in. But again, without that blue buff, it's just like, for me, it's just like a Nidalee with blue buff back in the old days, when if Nidalee was denied blue, you know, potential poking power isn't that strong, and it really is really detrimental to her, if I could speak.
You're exactly right. So you in a bit of a sticky situation, especially if Ninja gets his. I'm curious to see where the teams will collapse now that kind of all the outer towers, at least the majority of the outer towers have fallen. Dragon obviously not up for contention. This is typically where Chinese teams will fall into the mid lane and then kind of just look for a hard engage and shove something down. I feel like World Elite plays a little bit more kind of they play the catch game because they have a bit better vision than kind of surrounding LPL teams. And they also have a good comp for catch. Obviously the Dark Binding, the Cocoons, the Assassination Attempt, and Power from Salme, as well as this Xerath right now. So we'll see what wins out. If it's going to be kind of the ARAM mid-style or some movement underneath the lanes with superior warding.
Well, one thing that worries me is something you've been saying throughout the entire day so far is Kame is so good at split pushing and using that teleport. And when he's on Jax with the Trinity Force, like, who is EDG going to send up against him? You can't send one man because there's no way you're going to 1v1 him. You have to send at least 2 and maybe even 3 to actually get the kill.
Definitely, it's going to be about juggling resources to try to deal with this Jax. The one bright spot that they have is, again, it is a Trundle, so he's fighting the ultimate of Trundle, as well as kind of the Bork build. So we'll see if Koro is able to stand toe-to-toe, but typically not. There's going to be a point where Salme just gets completely out of control.
And right now, well, it won't be an A-round, it'll be with the top lane fight breaking out. That was terrible. Conan getting caught out, though. And the ultimate will be enough. Actually, Nami picks up the kill either way. EDG finally netting 1 kill. Now Sin going to be actually killed under turret. He has nowhere to go. He will just fall right back down as that clearly picks that one up. It's a 2-throw trade, and not to mention the top turret. So I guess EDG's answer was, well, we can't stop Kame from pushing, so we'll just push his lane on him.
This is actually very, shall I say, Korean of them. It's kind of common in Korea that they'll actually find the person with the teleport, and all 5 of them will wander down to his lane and kill him to obviously eliminate all sorts of map pressure games that they can play with engagements. And that's exactly what they did right there. They found the person with the teleport, they found the strongest member of the team, dove him, and that means that they're free to make any sort of move that they want on the map without punishment.
All right, now EDG, I mean, they've been behind, but they're not playing like it anymore. Obviously, you can see a little bit of a gold lead build-up for them. And a rat. That's what I was looking for. All random, all top. Jason, your mind doesn't work at this early in the morning. But either way, we have Wei Xiao pushing bottom. Koro will be there quick enough, though, to stop it. And there's still, you know, a big enough CS discrepancy between, obviously, the top laners and the AD carries. But, you know, again, we come back to Kame on that Jax. 30 CS lead, 4 kills still under his belt. He's getting only more farmed right now. And I believe the Rune King, it has to be coming soon. Like, at least parts of it. That Bilgewater Cutlass should be finished.
There's a lot of recipes on the map right now. You look over at Wei Xiao's build. He's got pretty much a Sheen and, you know, the beginnings of a Phage. But hold up a second. You caught up by Dark Binding? No, everyone's going to just back off.
He's been forced to pop the heal, though, and he actually looking to catch out someone from that one. But either way, they forced him back. And he took a lot of damage, though. That's a major downside here. And that kind of shows that Ninja, he's been powering up a little bit. But Dragon is up, and it looks like, well, usually they picked up the last one, but at the cost of 2 or 3 people, and they're trying to go for it yet again. They will pick it up, but will they escape with their lives? And it looks like Sin's just going to let them retreat.
Look at Yu's positioning every time they go up for a Dragon. He stands over in that corner, though, taking some free damage from Ninja. I don't think Ninja's going to have anything to really follow it up. Burns his ult anyway.
For it.
But he stands on the ramp by Dragon just to get the most AoE effect and kind of to step back and look for a good ultimate. You'll see him stand there every single time. Again, so much more superior of a player on understanding creating a zone and creating pressure with Ziggs in a team fight. It's really wonderful to watch.
Hopefully see a little bit more of him, to be honest. And Name, you know, something about the Brutalizer he just loves. Something about it. He has a BF sword and the Brutalizer and a pickaxe built up. So trying to go for that Infinity Edge, and so we'll have it probably very, very shortly, which will give him, obviously, a nice little bit of a power spike here. But the real question is it too late? Right now, Kulev being caught out, and that is just decimation by Kalme. He does actually manage to escape this one. Kalme being forced to flash as well, but Kulev dodges away from it. And again, it takes 2 people to actually take him down. But look at the damage he did to Kulev. And that's supposed to be their, well, not necessarily their only tank, but one of their tankier members.
Oh, that's definitely probably the tankiest person on their team next to Braum. Trundle, of course, when he presses R, but that was pretty scary. Just completely, like you said, decimated. That Sheen proc coming in from the Trinity pretty much half-healthed him.
We saw, actually, did Kalme steal away the blue buff? No, he did not. I think he was trying to gain a little bit of control. It still denied that blue buff away from you, which has already been, well, impactful as we've seen so far in these fights here. But 18 minutes in, 4-5, and a 2.3 thousand gold lead built up for EDG. Remember, this is the final game here, and the winner will win $5,000, and not to mention their spot in the World Finals coming up, I believe, next year. So there's a long ways to go for there. Obviously, both teams are really fighting for that spot. There's a lot of history between the teams, like we mentioned. You know, week 5, they tied it in LPL. They're tied for first place. World Elite had a really bad showing at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships last year. You know, EDG really trying to, you know, show everyone in all regions that they're a strong team. And this is their chance to really do it.
EDG are actually called traitors by a lot of Chinese fans, particularly World Elite fans. Clearlove and FCZF, obviously the former World Elite members, left the team when it split in winter 2013 to join EDG. So a lot of animosity between these teams. Recently, Wei Xiao and Clearlove kind of, buried the hatchet. They were duo queuing together kind of like old times, but there's a bit of an issue between Ninja and Yu.
Interesting. Well, Yu getting caught out. And, oh, he's going to be saved by ZZF, but here comes the help from Kalme, and Yu has nowhere to run. Kalme picks up an easy kill here, and he's maybe looking for a second as well. But the Cohen coming in, almost catching out Sin, but he's going to have some body block in here. He will escape this one. And again, World just catching out EDG, picking up some easy kills here. And you got to give credit to Ninja, though. He's playing a phenomenal Xerath this game.
Oh yeah, he's been doing a fantastic job, and it looks like World Elite is going to transition this into a free tower, possibly more.
Oh, Kalme going for the dive. Look at the damage Name's taking as well. The ultimate comes out of FCZF, though. Does buy him a little bit of time. Kulev as well here. And Cora with the ultimate trying to harass down Kalme, but the flash ultimate coming from Conan, but it will just net them Koro. Either way, they're going to pick up a kill here, and they could potentially push on this military, but look how damn low they are.
Gonna go for it instead. I like the attempt there with the Morgana ult, Conan locking them up. It looks like it is going to be another free second-tier tower for World Elite, so completely uncontested in the driver's seat. Have a very small gold lead, though.
Yeah, they definitely do, and I'm trying to actually look at what's causing. Actually, it's due to EDG getting so many dragons so far. Yeah, that's definitely, not to mention, there's a little bit of a CS lead, obviously, between the AD carries. But look at the top enders again. You know, Corey, you mentioned his Trundle. He's been having, you know, like you said, a fantastic game so far with his positioning and knowing what to do in situations, but he's not gotten off to a great start. Even with the assist he got early on and shutting down Kalme in the beginning with the first blood to Clearlove, he's been struggling. They definitely punished him back.
You're absolutely right. Axiom was completely on point with all of his ganks and his dives. It's funny, there's the joke that in the 4.11 patch, the towers obviously get a huge buff. Chinese teams, they love to dive. But sometimes the dives don't go as expected. I feel like the 4.11 patch is really going to nerf China into the ground, clean up their dives a little bit more. Elise should see some more play just because she has the repel. She has the ability to drop that tower aggro. So if Axiom's performing like this every game in future, when that patch changes over, great things from him.
I remember how many nerfs Elise has had over the past. It's just so many of them, but she's still so damn strong nonstop. But either way, such a cow picked up for Kalme. Not going for the Blade of the Rune King. Going for a little bit of tankiness that he's going to need to survive, I guess, to use damage. And the Blade of the Rune King has been picked up, though, for Koro, and he has Negatron Cloak behind that as well. And finally, Name, actually, I don't know how long ago this was, but he has the Infinity Edge. And on top of that, Yu is so close to finishing that death cap.
Name's really looking for his Ghost Blade at this point, though. Has a couple more pieces, so should be very close to it. Obviously, the Ghost Blade, much better on Lucian. Synergizes better with his kit than it does with Kog'Maw. When he presses it, he gets to fire more shots, so it makes his ultimate do more damage. Obviously, his ultimate doesn't have a... it has a casting animation, but it doesn't have like a crippling casting animation, so if you get to move faster while you cast it, big bonus there.
Yeah, not to mention the extra damage from the attack speed, like you pointed out too. And all right, now I'm actually thinking, obviously it's very even in gold. The kills a little bit more in favor of World Elite just because they have 5 on the Jax. But do you think the death cap coming in and the Youmu's is going to be enough of a power spike for EDG to finally go head-to-head in these fights?
Unfortunately, no, just because of how fed Jax is, and I think that World Elite actually has the superior comp as far as what it intends to do, especially for what they're trying for right now. Literally, they need FCZF and Clearlove to stack their ultimates perfectly into a Mego Inferno Bomb, but since Yu doesn't have his death cap right now, he's lacking quite a bit on damage as far as burst potential there. They have great siege tools. Lucian burning down towers, Ziggs can anti-siege and siege towers very effectively, but they need to find a pick.
Right now, EDG, they're definitely looking for something here, and you can see they're grouped up. Well, they have Ninja off to the side by himself, and he's still just harassing from Ranger. Sin taking a lot of damage from the Culling, and that actually might have given EDG the advantage over towards this Dragon. But again, you can't underestimate the siege damage that Ninja's able to do. It's just ridiculous. I mean, yeah, he's 0-0-4, but the Death Cap, Athena's and Holy Grail, not to mention just Xerath alone, he really could put a lot of work in.
I feel like World Elite, because of the type of CC they have, I use the word non-committal CC a lot. Obviously, they can throw out as many cocoons and dark bindings as they want, especially with that CDR. It's kind of like a dice game. They stand in mid or they stand in river, and they just keep throwing out all of those CCs. They wait for something to hit that they like, and it's kind of like Yahtzee. This is what we want. They hard engage.
Yahtzee's a word I haven't heard in a long, long time here. But World Elite, I guess, with Sin getting the healing back up at base, they're going to return straight for Dragon Head. There's actually a ward in the pit, so it actually might be spot out. Ziggs could use the ultimate to get in there if he wants to. World Elite are just buying a little bit of time here, but they're going to turn it around finally. Ziggs ultimate going to come in, but it will be a little bit too early here. So Sin going to secure that one. World Elite finally gaining a little bit of a gold lead now in this one. And not to mention, we forgot to point out that actually Wei Zhao has his Triforce now done. That little bit of a power spike is going to be deadly for him.
Name, pay attention. Trinity Force first on Kog'Maw. No, that last team fight, look at how long that kind of standoff lasted. Axine was taken down to pretty much like 200 health by the Culling. He Bs. He has time to walk from base and take the dragon. Like, that's how long that lasted. It was really a war of attrition, of just kind of a poke composition coming from World Elite. Obviously, Ninja throwing out his Qs, but the bindings again coming out one after the other.
Yeah, like you said, non-committal CC, and one thing that EDG is kind of lacking is a super hard engage. I mean, I don't consider Braum Ultimate really a hard engage because you can obviously miss it really easily, but they don't have a guy to get in there very quickly just to make the fight happen.
No, I completely agree. They have chase potential, but they don't have something like, you know, a Leona Solar Flare. They have Clearlove, and that's pretty much it. So it really means that Clearlove, and unfortunately, it's really hard for Eve, especially in a river like that, to get an ultimate that she wants. She likes it very much when teams are kind of pushing against each other in mid because it allows her to get a really clean flank. It effectively needs to be a flank from Clearlove into a perfect Braum ult for them to find what they need.
Well, let's see if they can pull it off here. We do have, well, the build Red Cutlass is picked up here for both Wei Zhao and Cao Mei, so that Blade of the Ruined King will be done soon. The CS, though, it's slowed down for Cao Mei. He's been, I guess, applying more pressure, grouping up a little bit more, and hasn't been off split pushing and farming here lately.
As you say that, he wanders down into that bottom lane, so I'm trying to prove you a little bit wrong, but you're definitely right. He has slowed it down, being more involved with his team. He was there for that entire, what, 45-minute Dragon standoff before World Elite took it.
I think it was 46.
Yeah, forgive me. But in the mid lane now, obviously with Dragon not available, mid tower is the most important objective on the map because it grants you the most passive vision control. EDG obviously lost there, so the minions will just naturally fall more to their side. They have good siege potential, like we talked about. Ziggs, Lucian, it's very obvious what you're going to do with the comp, but they need Clearlove to find someone. Clearlove does find Conan.
See if he can pick up the kill, though. He's kind of all by himself. He's taking a long time for his team to come in, but the Conan comes in. Will be flashed away from Conan. Will escape. This teleport comes in, though, out of Cao Mei. He goes for the flash. He gets the stun on Yu, but does he have the damage? He's all by himself. 1v5. He will be dropped finally. Lucian does secure that one. Finally, after so long in this game, and now they're looking for number 2 here. Wei Zhao trying to run away for this one, kiting them perfectly. Will get a kill on the FCZF, and now Korra will get locked down. He'll be taken out as well. Wei Zhao picks up 2. Number 3 going to be coming in. That is a triple kill. Somehow, World Elite turned that one around, even with Cao Mei going too deep.
In the words of Kobe, that teleport sucked. Cao Mei teleported in the middle of 5 members, immediately dropped, but it's okay because Wei Zhao's incredibly fed at this point, has the itemization that he needs, and is able to pick up that triple kill. See if World Elite can make any sort of objective off of it. Wei Xiao looking at that bottom tower.
He's definitely trying with that one, and well, with the back of a Conan, I'm pretty sure they're going to secure this one here in just a few seconds. So that will take them to number 5 in turrets. And now, well, the aggressive warding can begin. They can start to put down anything they want in the enemy jungle here and really start to bring the fight to EDG. And well, every turret that gets taken down, you know, you talked about Evelynn flanking, Clearlove getting behind them and opening up with a really good ultimate. I feel like when you're defending an inhibitor turret, the chance for that is really slim.
It helps slightly that there's not as many towers, so like there's a longer distance for World Elite to run back to safety. So it opens up in that aspect, but you are right. Obviously, if the wave is pushing onto them, they need to stand behind the tower, and there's no room for Clearlove to make something happen there. Bigger issue, though, is World Elite has been put in this position before, and they've been unable to close. We talked about how, comparatively, when they were ahead versus EDG, World Elite still stumbled a little bit to close out the game. We'll see if they're able to do it this time around. They should be looking at Baron pretty soon. A little bit of engagement coming out, though.
Yeah, they will go on a Sin here, and it looks like he might get bursted down before he can do anything. Clearlove picks up the kill. Teleport even coming in for Coral. Might we see a Baron coming up against a Xerath and a Kog'Maw? I would kind of hope not. But again, picks like that can easily get you back in the game.
Finding what they need. It's not going to turn into any sort of objective. Gives them a slight kill gold advantage, though, so trying to take a step back into this. Unfortunately, look at that top lane. No one is able to deal with Xiaomei right now. Coral getting completely bullied out. Only has pretty much one item complete to his name, so very far behind comparatively to the Trinity Force Cutlass.
Yes, he is an FCZF. Well, he's going to get stunned up for quite a while here. He's just going to get pretty much bursted down. Wei Xiao should easily have a kill with that ultimate. There it comes in. It's unstoppable. 5-0-1, and just as quick as they got a pick like that, it turns around back on their heads, and World Elite come out with a victory on that one, and they could potentially just push. I mean, FCZF is a huge portion of the combo that EDG need to win a fight.
It's a little bit hard to push into a Ziggs. They do get the bright spot that he doesn't have the blue buff available to him. That said, you look at their Baron potential. The fact that they have 2 Borks, technically one of them still a Cutlass, but the speed of which Kog'Maw and Jax can take down a Baron, EDG cannot leave that unattended for more than a few seconds.
Actually, probably Jax and Kog'Maw can do Baron themselves, while the rest of the team just doesn't even help out. And right now they're going straight for it here. They have the ward coverage. It looks like EDG is going to be a little bit slow to this one. Yu does have his ultimate up, though. He could potentially hit a steal if he's quick enough, or he's just on point. And right now, EDG, they're trying to close in. Here comes Ziggs' ultimate. It won't be enough, but it was so damn close here. And World Elite will pick up the Baron. And looks like EDG just going to back away, as well as World Elite. Go back to base, buy up, and finally go for their push.
I held my breath for that Ziggs' ultimate. That was so close, and that was blind. Oh, but like we were just saying, you cannot leave that Baron unattended. EDG trying to make something happen here, looking at that mid-tier tower, but they have to be very careful. Do have Trundle available for a disengage.
Look at those home guards as well. Those home guards coming out of World Elite here just to force them back here. And Nami taking 2/3 of his health just from a couple of attacks from Ninja there. But they defend the turret, and they stop EDG from turning, you know, it's usually, you know, losing a Baron into a turret. They get nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Again, the only bright spot that they have is Yu is on that Ziggs. And whenever Ziggs is in a game, it automatically becomes like a 45-minute game. He has the anti-siege available to him, wandering over, going to pick up his blue buff. We'll see if World Elite's able to look for the dive. That said, you think about the dive tools on World Elite's team, the fact that they have such long-range poke and damage coming from Xerath and Wei Xiao's Kog'Maw, the fact that they have the Elise Repel to juggle the tower aggro, the fact that they have Jax, who is already at this hyper carry point, what, 5-2-2 right now in this game. They have the tools to dive, it's just now about if they can connect with it.
Very true, and not to mention, you have the fact that, well, World Elite, they're the ones that want to fight. I mean, if you think about how a fight breaks down, if they're the ones to initiate it, that means you have Jax and Elise going in and no one's touching Kog'Maw. And the fact that if you even get to Kog'Maw, you've got a black shield. You can't lock him down. Like, there's nothing you can do to him, not to mention he's got even a little bit of magic resist in there and that Blade of the Rune King at the same time. So I'm looking at this, I'm just wondering, can EDG come back? I mean, a couple of picks will help out, but when it comes to a straight 5-on-5 fight, I mean, I guess stalling it out with you would be a good start here with that blue buff.
But stalling it out into a, you're absolutely right, stalling it out into a Kog'Maw late game with the Jax late game. Unfortunately, EDG just doesn't have the composition to scale as well as World Elite, and they've already fallen behind in kind of that early mid game, so they need to make plays, and unfortunately, I think they're kind of banking on a miracle right now. World Elite, this is their game to lose. I
gotta give credit, though, to you. Actually just noticed he has pretty much equal total gold as Xiaomei because of that 100 CS difference. But then again, it's a Jax. Just his abilities alone with that and the items is just so hard to go up against. Not to mention he's going to be split pushing, and no one can 1v1 him like we said before. You have to send 2, and even then, he could probably pick up the kills. Look at this. Just ridiculous dive on a Koro. He's be taking quite a bit of damage here from the turret, but he will be able to back away from this one. And again, I mean, Koro had to use everything to survive that.
fancy footwork. I will give Koro that his pillars are unmatched, but effectively now it comes down to the resource game. How many resources can EDG burn to take care of Xiaomei in that top lane while they play a 4-1 split?
Looks like we're just gonna have a quick pause here. I believe someone had a couple of issues there, but as you can see, they're playing already, so we should be back in just a few seconds. But I mean, I don't think Worley are gonna let this one slip. They're playing perfectly Legends. Jax is fed. Let him split push. We have a strong late game team. We have good support. We have, you know, good tankiness as well if we want to dive. I mean, they picked an amazing composition coming into the picks and bans.
They'd have to completely drop the ball. EDG at this point to win, they'd have to ace probably repeatedly, either 2 to 3 times. They definitely would have to get the second Baron, because otherwise they just get completely outcomped. They cannot scale and afford to stall this game out any longer than necessary.
All right, well, it looks like the pause has been turned off. We're going back into the game here, guys. Remember, this is the final game of the day, and Motorlead are looking to secure themselves a spot yet again here in the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. And right now, they are very close to doing so. You can see Kamei pushing top. He has Clear Love and Koro up against him, but again, just leaps away. Bottom lane pushes, and he goes back to pushing top whenever Clear Love leaves.
Again, it's that resource game. Clear Love has to be very careful about how much time he spends. He has the advantage that he's using stealth, so it's not like they can see him moseying up there through a well-placed ward over the wall or anything like that. But as soon as he shows, that's going to be the go-to for World Elite.
Oh, here we go. They have to commit for a fight. They have to kill him on this one, or they're going to lose a bottom turn. I mean, Ziggs, I'll give you credit. He has holding on to this for such a long time with that blue buff. But again, Kamei just pushy top. He gets the turn already. He's looking for inhibitor down to about half HP. Clear Love, he's not going to escape this one. That is Kamei picking. Oh my god, the shield coming in was fantastic, and he escapes with the help of the flashbang. The flash, wow, where did that come from? But now the bottom turret already down about half HP.
CSGO much?
A little bit.
No, but huge save from FCZF right there. And fortunately, World Elite kind of mispositions. They don't take advantage of the number split and pick up that tower. The minion wave wasn't there for them, so kind of a saving grace right there that they haven't lost more than just an inhib tower.
Yeah, that was so damn close here. And again, you're seeing Kamei just boss around these two players. Koro trying to go head-to-head. Cliff coming back in yet again, but he jumps. I don't think he's going to escape this one this time, though, but he could maybe even turn and fight. He does have that Blade of the Ring King use, give him a little extra speed. He does get a jump yet again, and he escapes. He could not be stopped here. But in the meantime, while all this is happening, EDG have been defending 3v4. They've kept that bottom turret alive. I don't know its HP right now, but they've held on to it, and that's what really matters. They stalled off this Baron completely.
And that was entirely in the hands of you and the power of Ziggs right there. Shining Light, again, World Elite does have the teleport available on Xiaomei. Doesn't look like he's going to utilize it, so I think that World Elite kind of, like you said, the Baron got stalled out. They're going to give up. They're going to have a pass. And this is one of the main problems of World Elite. They stall out late game. I wouldn't say this is a close game, but they stall out like this a lot of the time. They just don't really know how to finish games or how to end them, especially when they don't have Baron. It concerns me the fact that they didn't get everything that they wanted and they needed to get on that first Baron. That said, they have plenty of chances to come back to that again. A late game team comp, Xerath, Kog'Maw, and Jax. Baron up in, 2 minutes? So we'll see what they play from there, if they're going to try to go for an open inhib, or if they're going to completely just stall out for 2 minutes, farm up, take the jungle, and look for the second Baron to end it.
Right now, if World Elite do lose this game, I will be amazed at how. I mean, you said it perfectly. Late game champions, you have Xerath, you have Jax, you have Kog'Maw. You have a lead already. You've already had the first Baron under your belt. You're winning in gold here. And right now, Kamei can just 1v1 anyone, and Clear Love might get taken down for this. The red buff is up for Kamei. This Xerath ultimate going to come in, and Kamei will secure that one. And now without their jungler there, without Clear Love alive, who's been vital in stopping Kamei from pushing top, I don't know if they can hold on to an inhibitor this time. Oh, he's 1v3! He's 1v4! He just does not care. The Blade of the Ring King is going to be used to slow him down, but in the meantime, the rest of his team has rotated towards his top lane. They're going straight for that inhibitor.
Again, Xiaomei superior at playing the map pressure game, but EDG trying to get a position to hold them off.
Oh, and looks like they might try to go for engage here. They will catch out Ninja. The ultimate will connect with them off of Braum here, but they don't have anyone else to go in. Clear Love is still not alive. They're just trying to stall. They're just trying to play a poker game here, and that will be FCZF taken down here. That's inhibitor surely to fall right after. And you can see still Sin pushing middle, Kamei still pushing bottom. And this is what, 3v4?
First inhibitor finally falls. Wei Xiao he's too far powerful at this point. That damage coming out from Kog'Maw, the shred from him, his ability to take down towers. I don't think there's any way that EDG can do anything about this. They have to commit to a fight, but unfortunately, even if they have a numbers advantage, they don't have the strength.
That's very true, and not to mention they have, what, 14 seconds left on FCZF before anything happens, and they do get a kill on a Xerath, though. They do finally net something here, but they did Did they lose their middle turret? I did not notice. No, they kept it alive, so they at least finally get something. But is it too late?
They only lost one inhibitor, so not the worst thing to have happened. That said, Baron about to spawn in 4 seconds. Obviously, Wardley have the timer on that. Pings are going down, and again, we talk about the speed of which Wardley can burn through Barons. Even if Salmon isn't there on his Jax, Wei Xiao alone on this Kog'Maw. 5-0-2, has the Trinity Force, has the Blade of the Rune King. They can just shred through this. You have the percentage damage from Elise coming in.
They know what's happening too. We can see already Quilov there. Teleport coming in at the top side. They're looking for the fight on top of Baron. Quilov trying to sneak around from the side, and we will see the Morgana ultimate come in. It will connect with at least one. FCZF going to get locked down here. Quilov solo on life. And for some reason, a pause comes out during the middle of that team fight here, but at such an instrumental time, that is not the best thing to happen if you're either of these teams.
A complete backup of any sort of momentum that anyone had going either direction. Probably the worst timed pause I think I've ever seen. Over an important Baron fight, kind of the last stand for EDG, the Spartan stand, if you will.
Spartan stand. And we had, what was that, Clearlove so low on life trying to run away from that?
I believe so. Clearlove, a little bit too far forward, overzealous in his positioning. If he dies, there's pretty much no contention. You have the Mega and Bomb for that Baron steal, and that's about it.
Very true, and not to mention if he gets killed, I would imagine well, that's a free push middle. I don't think Ziggs can hold on to another Baroned up Wardley knocking at their front door here. But obviously, looks like the problems have been fixed. We're just waiting to get dropped back in the game here to see what is going on. But again, guys, a lot at stake. If you're just showing us, this is Wardley up against Edward Gaming, and they're fighting for a chance for $5,000, not to mention, more importantly, the spot into the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship coming up next year. Wardley, they played in it last time. Fortunately, placed dead last, getting knocked out by Cloud9 and Gambit. But they're looking to redeem themselves, and they're looking pretty strong to do it right now.
Yeah, obviously new coaching staff, new player staff since their last time at Intel Extreme Masters tournaments. You have your two Koreans, the Korean puppies, mid lane and jungler. It's Axine, otherwise known as Sin in China, and Ninja, known as Bear and Rabbit by the Chinese fans. Looks like we are going to quickly get back into game, however.
There we go. All right, so we will have the pause undone, and we can see already Kona getting so damn low on life. Koro, though, going to be dropped here, as we will have Wei Xiao finally pick that up, but he's all by himself. He's not going to escape Nami this time, and that will be a 1-for-1 trade. Baron was not picked up here, and with Nami still alive, this might be a Baron free for the side of EDG. They have Cliff coming back. He had the home guard boots, and he will have that smite there.
They have to be very careful, though. Sin being taken very low.
Wow, he's being forced to repel away from this one here, and Ziggs ultimate will come in, but it won't matter. They will have, obviously, the double golems transfer to. Wow, Ninja not really connecting with any of those ultimate charges right there, and Baron being started off. They forced him back. He's very low on life, but you can see the Xerath poke is just getting ridiculous right now. Wei Xiao's still down, Cao Mei's still down, and that Baron, it looks like it might go in the hands of EG. Yu is so low on life off to the back, so he's forced to just completely back away, and here comes Sin. He doesn't get the steal, and he will pay for it with his life, but they at least get one kill over on the FCCF, and now they're looking to run away. Nami gets caught with the Dark Binding, and will he drop for this? He will fall finally. Ninja is just going to town, picking up 2 kills, looking for number 3 on a Clearlove who has that Banshee's Veil up. The Dark Binding doesn't connect, and it looks like Clearlove will just go straight into Ninja, into his death. He flashes right into him, and Ninja secures a triple kill. He eliminated Baron from 3 people.
EDG get Baron, but again, at what cost? Is this going to be the end of the road for them as far as this game is concerned? Koro doing his best to try to stave off those creeps. That was such a risky play. Obviously, EDG had no other options to them. They couldn't afford to lose another Baron, but looks like they will lose a Nexus Tower after all is said and done. 50-50 Baron. Axine was a level on to Clearlove. Doesn't get the smite steal, so great job from Clearlove, but I think this is still the end of the road.
Well, it looks like they might lose a middle inhibitor turret as well with those double Trinity Forces and that Jax there to tank it. Banshee's Veil will be used up here, but that turret will drop very quickly. Ziggs ultimate comes in. Looks like it cleared out the wave just enough to keep the turret alive, so credit to you for that one. And they will have Clearlove finally alive back here in 5 seconds. Name has respawned in. He has a Last Whisper, which he picked up right before that last fight, and another BF sword on top of it.
Name definitely coming in as kind of the hyper carry for his team, going more for a late game Lucian build with that Infinity Edge as opposed to kind of the Bork Lucidity Ghost Blade build that power spikes into that mid game, doesn't have the Trinity Force available to him. So as far as his build, he's trying to keep up with Kog'Maw's late game.
That's very, very hard to do.
It's an attempt.
It is. And actually, look at what we have in terms of trinkets. So we have an Oracle Lens picked up for SCZF. We have 3 Super Lenses picked up for the rest of the team for EDG. We have a Scrying Orb picked up for Ninja.
This is pretty common as far as mid laners with skill shot poke over the wall, especially for Xerath. Obviously, he wants to put that scrying orb and then, you know, drop a QW, I think is his combo, over the wall.
I also have a Leandries, that Deathcap Void Staff picked up as well. Even a Giant's Belt for a little bit of extra tankiness here. And that top inhibitor finally respawn. Koro giving him credit for pushing out that top lane as much as he possibly can to eliminate all those waves of super minions. And it looks like we have a little bit of a reset. That Baron, even though EDG did lose 3 people, it was still like a reset button on the game. They forced W to play passive again. They forced him to just sit back.
Definitely, and despite World Elite having over a 10k gold advantage, again, this is the World Elite that I kind of have struggled supporting. I want to believe that World Elite has kind of returned to form, that it's the old guard team, that they're back on top, because for a long time they completely dominated the League of Legends scene, but they have this issue where even though they're so far ahead, they kind of stall out and they don't really know what to do with themselves when they don't have a clear advantage like a Baron team on a mid-wave push.
I wonder if that's something that they're going to work on, obviously. It has to be. I mean, that can't be your one downside. We've seen that just be the downfall of so many teams in Europe and in North America. Not so much in Korea, I want to say, since they're pretty much the kings of League of Legends. But either way, we do still have Koro pushing back out top. He's 0-5 right now. He is double potted, actually, sitting on those for the next team fight. Has a Negatron Cloak. The Random Omen now done as well. And we can see Deathcap Void Staff, Needs Large Rod picked up. They have the potential to stall. I mean, you called it out exactly right. Yu is doing a fantastic job of keeping these waves back. I want to know, though, is it World Elite's lack of ability to close the game out, or is it you just playing so damn well with this wave clear that they're forcing World Elite to just kind of sit on their thumbs?
I'm going to take the cop-out answer and say that it's kind of both. World Elite is definitely very inexperienced. I mean, just kind of look, they're kind of aimlessly wandering around the map, just trying to find pressure points and pick something up. It's unfortunate because I feel like I've actually watched this exact situation for EDG, and they didn't have a late game composition, and I believe they were actually facing a Kog'Maw too. It may have been World Elite. I know that there was a game that World Elite had where it was like 68 minutes long. We had a Kog'Maw, and they ended up losing to a Lucian, and just because EDG had Ziggs, and they just team fight so much better. Obviously picking up kills when they don't have a numbers advantage, when the split push is there, Salmei not being able to find the split push. Yeah, I agree that Salmei should be split pushing because it's easy, but at this point it's like you're so much stronger, you're 10k gold, why not just 5v5 and try to brute force up? Obviously if you get aced here, it's not the end of the world. Death timers are unforgiving, but they have a lot of towers to go through. I don't think that EDG could end if they decided to die here.
Here we go, Cliff looking for the engage. They're 5-on-4. A nice Braum ult comes in as well. Jax is nowhere to be seen, but he's getting the teleport in. And that will be Ninja getting very low on life. He will be taken down by Name, and they're looking for more here. Cliff will finally drop. Kaomei is not even being touched in this fight. Wei Xiao just dancing in between them. And Kaomei going deep. He's going for the dive. He picks up the kill on Name. He's looking for you. He'll get the kill as well. That is what's certainly going to be game here as Koro and FCZF are trying to escape here, but Kaomei picking up too many. And it looks like he will pick up the kill on the fountain. Is he going for it? No, he backs away. But either way, with the inhibitor on the top lane, that's all they really need to take down before they go straight onto Nexus turrets, and there's only one to really go up against. This has to be it.
And this is exactly what we were talking about. Why were they wasting their time with the split push when they could just brute force their power straight down into that bottom inhibitor? Salmei coming up huge there, completely untouched. Like, think of how long he tanked that tower and the amount of damage that he did. Most of his health was eaten away by a super tower.
I think that's exactly right, too. And that last Nexus turret is the only thing standing between World Elite and getting into the World Championship yet again here. Koro will be dropped. That's an ace in the end. And World Elite winning the first game, losing number 2, but coming out big on game number 3, will win the prize. They will win their spot yet again here, and we'll see if they can redeem themselves this time coming up next year.
A very sweet victory indeed. We talked about the rivalry between these teams. The last time that they faced off in the LPL, how it actually split 1-1. They're both tied for first place, so finally a definitive answer. World Elite has put themselves on top for #1 team in LPL.
Fantastic job, and Kaomei top lane on that Jax. I mean, you see why Jax is banned out so many times against him, because that was just fantastic. I mean, we think about how that game begun. He got ganked very early. I mean, he got destroyed by Clearlove. He got first blooded by Clearlove, but then Sin gave him 2 kills, or didn't give him the kills, but he ganked Trundle obviously a couple of times, forced Koro to play off the back foot, and Kaomei from there just snowballed. I mean, there was one teleport, I think at Dragon, we picked up like 3 kills, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, superior teleports. Salmei has always been really on point with that. Again, they kind of fumbled in that mid to early late game issue with the split push, but he finally made the right call. He got involved with his team. Obviously, if you're trying to team fight without the majority gold holder in that fight, you're gonna have a bad time. So getting Salmei involved was the right call.
The thing is, that last fight, I mean, I feel like that was actually a really good engage by EDG. The problem was they used like everything on Ninja and that, and then after that, it's like, oh, there's a Jax hammering away at us that we don't even touch. I mean, the thing is, if you look at high priority targets in a fight, everyone seems to be a high priority target on the side of World Elite, because you have what, Jax, who gets in there finally, you have Kog'Maw in there, you have Xerath, who does a lot of damage and constantly pokes you away. How can you take down all three of those priority targets? Because if you're attacking one, the other two are hitting you. It's so tough to do.
No, you're absolutely right. You hit the nail right on the head. Riot has publicly said, you know, if a champion is defined as a hyper carry tank, chances are that champion is BS. Obviously, Xiaomei came in frontline. He tanked what, the tower and all 5 members of EDG with nothing.
Yeah. Well, he tanked 5 earlier at the Dragon fight, and I mean, he did get taken on eventually, but it took a long time, and that was when he wasn't even really powered yet. He only had that Trinity Force done.
Definitely allowed Wei Xiao to sit in the back and, again, play that Gatling gun, pick up some free kills. I think he got a triple in that fight.
The thing is, he took more damage than Cao Mei did, but he kind of like did it on purpose. He like ran into them. He's like, hey, attack me, I'm free, and then just ran right back out. He saw the Banshee's Veil that wasn't even, I think, procced in that fight. Just ridiculous play. And World Elite, I mean, it's good to see that they're playing better. They're finally back on form, but you pointed out, again, it's the close. It just took so long. I felt like it didn't need to. I mean, you look at how dominant each game was. You know, game 1, it was in favor of World Elite. They finished pretty quickly, but EDG just destroyed them game 2. I mean, it wasn't even close. They got a little bit of a lead, and they just snowballed it so damn hard from there, where World Elite they're struggling to do that.
The really important thing for World Elite is you have to recognize that their roster has recently gone through some big changes. Obviously, you have 2 members on your team that it's not impossible to communicate with them, but it definitely is harder due to a language barrier.
Too.
Especially when they're on such important roles like the jungler and the mid. Conan, yes, he's been with Wei Xiao for quite a few splits, and they definitely have a serious bromance going, but he's not the same caliber of support, especially as far as understanding when to engage that FZZF was. And I feel like, again, World Elite, they almost have one type of strategy that works for them, and that's when they kick Conan out of the lane. He doesn't have necessarily the mechanical aptitude to stand 2v2. He did in that case, but I don't feel like Wei Xiao completely dominated that lane phase. They forced him to roam, and they just let Wei Xiao kind of sit and farm. And World Elite is pretty much hard riding on the backs of Xiaomei and Wei Xiao.
Yeah, very true. I mean... And the thing was, it was so weird because it seems like when one struggles, I mean, Wei Xiao, he did struggle at the beginning of that game. He was constantly rotating, top, bottom, and he was behind like 30 CS for a good portion of it. But, I mean, when he's held behind, Cao Mei excels. It's amazing gameplay to see. And as you can see, EDG getting second place, they can't be too sad. They won $1,500. They can be happy about that. Obviously, not the result they really wanted, but still, they played extremely well.
Look at the disappointment on their faces. Yes, you're right. They can't be too upset there. It's a fantastic tournament to be a part of. Obviously, they leave with a good chunk of change, but
smile, guys. Come on.
It comes back to that this is a really heated rivalry. People talk about, the narrative lines in the NALCS, and I keep going back to the TSM CLG because it's kind of like the most appropriate and closest analogy and comparison. But the intensity between these teams and the fans, especially for World Elite, is unparalleled and uncompared to anything NA or EU have.
And they just go straight for the trophy. They don't even want the money. They want the trophy. They want the fame from that one. You can see the crowd just all around them taking so many pictures. Everyone with their phones out like, I want a shot. I want a shot. But again, they earned it. They really deserved it. At the first game, it was still very well done. And even game number 3 was fantastic. But to kind of work through the whole best of 2 system that they normally run at LPL to go to a best of 3 and to try to adapt and go to what you're comfortable on in game number 3 is no easy feat.
You're exactly right. Biggest issue, though, is that they're only going to get stronger. That's the really scary thing about World Elite is, again, I keep bringing up the language barrier, the roster changes. They're still trying to find their synergy. And the fact that they're dismantling top-tier teams in the LPL with kind of a lack of synergy kind of speaks to the strength of the players right now. Can you imagine when they're finally firing on all cylinders, everyone's on the same page?
It's so weird. It's like any team that picks up a Korean, they automatically do way better. I don't know if that's
I wouldn't go that far, but it's definitely changed around a few rosters in LPL.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us today. We had some great games. We have finally now our first team going into the World Championship coming up next year. I thank you very much for joining me. It was a pleasure casting with you. Is there anything you want to say before you head off?
No, I just wanted to thank you and Intel Extreme Masters for allowing me to have this platform to talk about, the LPL. It's a region that I'm very passionate about. I'm very lucky to get the chance to cast with someone of your caliber, and this has just been a fantastic experience for me.
You got a little brown on your nose. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, make sure to check her out. Obviously on Twitter, you can see that on your screen. Make sure you tune into the LPL matches. Other times are a little bit difficult for you, but watch the VODs at least because there's some great League of Legends action happening there. I think that's going to do it for us at the Intel Extreme Masters Shenzhen. Make sure to tune in next time. I can't tell you actually where the event will be. I know where it is, though, and it's going to be an exciting one. So make sure you guys tune in, and we'll see you next time.